The Unfinished Business Training Camp t-shirt. Head to eatsantiagos.com to find out which select Santiago's locations will be handing out 50 additional teas on the house while supplies last. But just like a good Santiago's breakfast burrito, they won't last long. Locations, dates, and times are all at eatsantiagos.com. Fresh burritos and free gear? That's a win-win. Santiago's. Faithfully authentic.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver.
You're listening to Denver Sports 104. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
I'm not sure where that cello guy is. Mike Rice in for cello. Kyle Reese, as always, here.
Always.
It is good to see you, my friend.
Always.
Yes,
you catch
man.
me right here, 7 o'clock every No, we all have our days that we take off, but it is good to see you, Mike.
Man.
I've been here with you in a while, so let's rock and roll today, brother.
Yeah, let's do it. We got a lot to get to. Did you order up this heat? I've been asking everybody I know because,
no.
like cello, our son plays baseball, and there's been a lot of days this summer and other summers out in the hot sun, and yesterday was no exception, man. And you a little crispy, a little toasty, and you're getting ready to crank up with the football guys with your team, right? Vista Peak.
Yes.
Is Vista Peak? Did I get that right?
It is. You're right. You're right.
Whew, glad I
Somebody
didn't get
cares.
that. Well, you see,
You care enough to know.
I
Thank
care,
you, and I appreciate
I
that.
do. There's several sort of vistas and there's several sort of peaks as far as the high schools go, and I wanted to make sure I had the right one.
Yeah, it's
For
kind
you.
of like a theme around here a little
It
bit.
is, a little bit.
Between Mountain Vista and all those other teams. But, yeah, we get ready to rock and roll tomorrow. So, shout out to all the high school football coaches, and you guys get ready for the grind. 303-713-1043. Maybe you guys want to text in this morning, let us know what you got cooking, and how's that, how you feeling about things?
Yeah, man.
It is upon us. Football season is upon us.
It is, and the Broncos are rolling. We'll obviously be heavy on that. We're going to touch on baseball because there was a huge trade yesterday.
No doubt.
The biggest domino has fallen with Tarek Skubal going from Detroit to, the Dodgers.
The rich just continue to get rich.
At some point, it's not good for the game. And since I'm not a Dodger fan, we reached that point. We reached that critical mass a long time ago.
Yeah, let's get into that a little later on. I've got some thoughts on that.
Yeah,
for sure.
we will. Summer go good for you? You got any last vacation? Or I guess with football coming tomorrow, you're full speed ahead with that, right?
No doubt. Yeah, I took some time off,
Okay.
enjoyed the family. My kid's going to the 3rd grade, which makes me old. Like, man, this is going by really quickly. So they start school this week.
Okay.
And you're right. It did go pretty quickly, but I kind of, it's one of those bittersweet times because, the summer's over with the kids, but at the same time, football season is the reward for it. So I'm excited, nervous, all those things all at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of strange for us because with our oldest son playing baseball, when the summer season ends, which it did yesterday, final tournament in the books, it's always like, oh, I guess it is kind of time to get back to the fall and the routine of school and all the rest.
Oh, we need school supplies. Oh,
yeah.
It's that time. We got to go school shopping. Oh,
exactly. There are a lot of dads going, oh, my gosh, I hope the better half took care of that. And
She
undoubtedly she did.
She did.
Yes. We, guys, hey, I'd like to admit I have it all together, and I have about nothing together.
No doubt.
Thankfully,
That's why she's
Ann-
your better half or even 3/4 most of the time.
Or the better 100%.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right, we're going to jump right in. As Kyle mentioned, RamosLaw.com text line is there for you guys as always, 303-713-1043. And the YouTube chat is powered by Champ Honda. You can jump on that if you want to take part in the show. With all the sports coming alive, none more so exciting than the Broncos. And we have not talked, so I want to get your thoughts just big picture for a moment, Kyle. And I know a lot of those who listen to this show and others know
Where I stand.
know where you stand. But in terms of training camp and your excitement level, especially after the first couple days, Friday, the first full day with fans, offense really taking center stage, Yesterday, maybe more of a defensive day. I love how Mace and Cease put it on Orange and Blue After Dark. The defense strikes back. I mean, this is what we talk about during training camp. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a trend or a pattern, but you just have to talk about day by day. And so maybe the defense going, hey, wait a minute, guys, we're still around. We're still here. We're still going to, we saw VJ's pressure packages and those kind of things kind of come to the fore a little bit. But just on the general excitement level, how eager are you to see this team go through the process of training camp and get to the preseason games and then the regular season?
Well, I have to temper my excitement because the offseason, there was a lot of disappointment. There was the news that kept coming out about Bo Nix, and then there was the lack of activity in free agency, and the draft, I could say, was probably underwhelming because they didn't have a first-round pick, but you got Jalen Waddle out of the deal. So, there were a lot of ups and downs throughout the offseason. So then you get to the first week, and you say, did they say the offense was on fire? Oh, hold on. Bo Nix, Jalen Waddle's on Twitter catching the ball with one hand, and now everybody's really excited about it. And then I temper my expectations because I know on the defensive side of the ball, everybody says this. Wait till the pads come on. That's when we're really going to find out. Pads come on next week, so that's when I'll get geeked about it.
But the fact the offense showed some life early in camp, I was encouraged by that. I mean, we all know it sort of is what it is. It's not the regular season, but at the same time, I'm glad they kind of came out on fire. I'm glad they had a great day on Friday in front of the fans, get a little talk going in Broncos country, maybe a little bit of hope. Not hope in terms of, is this team good? Yeah, they're in a Super Bowl window, but can this offense be even better to help out that defense and really make that window, open that window just a little bit wider?
Well, for a few different reasons, because if the Broncos had, a drop of offense in the AFC Championship game, they win the – people talk like the Patriots came in here and beat them 32-10. That's not what happened. The Patriots scored 10 points. The weather got away from you, and you couldn't figure out how to punch the ball in. And Mike Vrabel is literally on the other side of the field saying they can't score. They can't.
Yeah.
And so for the offense to come out the way it did, it's like, okay, that's the one thing that the Broncos needed to have happen. Okay, check. Explosive weapon on the offensive side? Check.
Mm-hmm.
Continuity on the defensive side? Check. So right now they're just hitting all green lights, and I don't know how you couldn't be excited about that.
I think it's absolutely exciting. And you mentioned they couldn't find a lick of offense in the AFC Championship game.
Drop.
A drop.
That
was the word you used. Which a drop, a lick, a smidge, a
That's all you
skosh.
needed?
I mean, just a play, or avoid the bad play. Which we're not going to relive all of that. But it does bring us to what Sean Payton said earlier in the off season about every position being a competition. We know Bo's a fixture as the starting quarterback, but referring to the backup quarterback position with Jarrett Stidham, Sam Ehlinger. And we have seen early in camp Ehlinger start to run with the twos. Does that say anything to you, Kyle, to Broncos country? Is that, as they would say, a harbinger of things to come? Or is it just, all right, Ellinger's getting his reps in because he's going to need to get some at some point? Is there truly a backup quarterback battle?
Perhaps. But I would say that the mad scientists, and Cecil and Mace talked about this on Orange and Blue last night, as a matter of fact. But the mad scientist that is Sean Payton knows how to manufacture that type of – this is very intentional. One, you're not talking about Bo Nix and the ankle. Great.
Thank goodness.
Let's deflect a little bit from that conversation.
Please.
And now you're having a conversation about two guys that we hope don't play. What are we doing? But at the same time, I think even within the program, you have to have competition. And I think that's what this is about. This is just a competition and promoting competition internally. So I really don't care who comes out as the backup quarterback because, again, I don't want to see them play. But at the same time, I think you have to have something that drives the room. that makes guys rise to an occasion or rise to a challenge. So I think Sean Payton is just, he's gotten in his bag and he said, you know what, you guys, let me see who I can tick off today. And it was Jarrett Stidham. Hey, you run with the threes. Hey, you got Jaleel today. That's what it is.
Yeah. If it continues, though, at what point does it become a statement? Now, the depth chart won't come out for a bit, right? It's never right at the beginning of camp. So I'm not assuming there's going to be any announcement in the next few days, although, I suppose you never know with Sean Payton. I wouldn't expect that. But at some point, if it continues, then it's like, well, maybe there is a new sort of bona fide backup quarterback where if Bo missed time, then Ellinger would be the guy. I'm not saying we're there yet. I do think it's still solidly steady, but they are clearly taking a look at Ellinger with the twos. It's undeniable. And I don't think you do that just because. I think you do it for a reason, and we know NFL coaches have reasons for pretty much everything. Do I care if they're – I want the best backup behind Bo. I'm glad we're not talking about predisposition about ankles. But, Kyle, if something crops up, then I think it is an interesting thought of who's the guy. And I think right now it's still steady. There's a part of me that would have to see it to believe it, that it's Ellinger. But when he's running with the twos early in camp, it's not just, nothing to see here. I don't think it's at that level. I don't think it rises to, okay, there's an imminent change, but it's an interesting development, I would say.
Well, I disagree with you a little bit on the nothing to see here, but at the same time, I could understand the point. If you are in a situation where one of these guys has to play, I think you need him to be a little bit weathered, calloused, forged in the fire a little bit. And so where does that fire come from if he actually doesn't get an opportunity to play? And God forbid it be in the AFC Championship game. You have to callous them somehow.
Sure.
Because they're going to have the cleanest jersey on the team for the majority of the season. I just hope it doesn't come to that.
Oh
I just can't imagine a scenario because we're talking about all the green lights, okay, all the things that are going right for the Broncos. I can't imagine a scenario where the Broncos had to go to a quarterback or their backup quarterback and things working out very well with this schedule. So hopefully they're working on the offensive line, too, to keep Bo Nix upright, get the ball out quick. I know you hate the perimeter screens, Cello and Alex, but get the ball out quick.
Mostly Cello.
Mostly Cello hates he hates him. I did a lot of research on that this week, and then I remember Cello wasn't in. So I was like, damn. Okay.
Oh, you got – well, you can – you know what?
Extension of the run game, of course.
I'll let you yes, we'll keep going.
And there's no better time to unveil that research when he's not here.
No doubt.
You guys will have plenty of time when he's back, I would assume, next week.
Best way to win an argument.
That's exactly right. But you can kind of help people along and condition them to your case because I'm gonna give you the floor on that at some point.
I've done the work. I can't wait.
Man.
You know what I mean? I came in here. I worked out all day yesterday.
Just like a coach would.
I'm gonna get Cello. I'm gonna get him. But back to the backup quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Like, who's the backup quarterback in Seattle?
Yeah.
How about
Drew Lock?
Yeah, there you go.
And you know him because you know what I mean. And the Los Angeles Rams. And who else was a team that we took serious? Who's the backup in New England?
Oh, Joe, what's his name, right?
Yeah,
Milton.
There you go.
Sometimes. So
right.
Again, if you're a real contender, I don't know that you can survive a steady diet of your backup quarterback situation, but you have to have those things in place.
And that brings up an interesting name that has been floated around a little bit, and it's been floated around because, let's face it, he's out there, and he's a Sean Payton guy. In fact, he's been a Sean Payton boo, right? It's fair to say that Taysom Hill has been a Sean Payton boo.
Yeah.
Do you take a look? Do you make a call? Do you seriously consider bringing Taysom Hill in for, list any reason of probably 3 or 4 legitimate ones that might be out there? Or, look, coming off the tough knee injury, the ACL, the damage in the knee, mid-30s. I think he's about to be 36. better days are in the rear view.
Probably. And I don't know if you go back to his college days, but he had season-ending injuries in his college days as well at BYU. I think he popped his ACL twice while he was there.
So he's predisposed.
Yes. You know, a little bit. So now you're like, okay, why didn't Sean Payton air out his business while they were in New Orleans?
Right.
But you look at a guy like that, and you're right. That has been one of those Sean Payton gadget guys. I don't know if you remember the game that I think Philip Lindsay played at quarterback in, going on with the offense, because I guarantee you that is not Coach Webb up there on the grease board saying, I wonder what Taysom Hill would look like in this position.
Well, might be.
I'll bet you dollars to donuts that that's not the case.
I mean, Sean clearly has his influence. By the way, I need to step back because my buddy Mark texts in on the RamosLaw.com text line and says, Joe Milton is now with the Cowboys. It's Tommy DeVito, who's the primary backup for the Patriots.
Who knew?
Yeah. See,
who was keeping track of that?
To your point.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
I needed that. I needed that little pick me up, that little correction on this Sunday.
And I appreciate the correction, but at the same time, you're like, okay, if Drake May goes down, and it's DeVito.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah, they don't want that either. They can't afford that.
I don't think it hurts to take a peek at Taysom Hill and say, all right, could he help? He obviously is familiar with Sean, the system, the culture. All of those things. He was obviously a big part of that in New Orleans and a big part of success under Sean Payton in New Orleans. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I wouldn't overthink it. Like if they brought in Taysom Hill, it's not because he's about to be the backup quarterback. I mean, that's way farther down the road than anything. I think he could be a good veteran presence, a versatile guy. Hopefully is on his way back from the knee injury. I don't think they would rely on him for anything, outrageous in terms of playing time right off the bat. Mason Cease brought up an interesting proposal, and they said May said maybe they bring in Taysom Hill, cut him when the 53-man roster is due, and then sign him back to the practice squad to be here, to be a good influence on some of the younger guys. I know it's more of a veteran team. I get that. But that could be a route that they go. I don't know at that point what the demand would be or what the interest would be on Taysom's part himself to play for someone other than Sean Payton.
Yeah, I could see that, and I could see him bringing – one, just the knowledge of the system. There's something else that he brings, though. And for me, it's toughness. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who's bounced back from multiple injuries, but when he's on the football field, he doesn't play. He knows one speed. It's stop and 100 miles an hour. And so from a physicality standpoint, I think that has some value in the locker room. I think of, like, weird positions that Sean Payton has used. Like, would he be like Michael Burton? Could he be like Adam Prentice? Who's not going to be around because Taysom Hill has some type of utility. And whether he's on the 53 or not, I think he can still give you value in that way. Now, is he going to be the one thing that is the X factor, that is the difference maker, and he's the reason that the Broncos win the Super Bowl? The answer is no. But at the same time, can he add an element that still brings value to the team, whether he's on practice squad or 53 or whether he's dressing on Sundays or not? I think Sean Payton is. I think that's what he's exploring.
I think it's worth exploring. On the RamosLaw.com text line from the 2044, you kick the tires. Yeah.
Be careful, though, because this dude's tires have been, you know what I mean? Like he's had trouble with his tires.
Oh, man. Yeah, he has. I think it may be more than – I think he had trouble with the engine block. You do an ACL, that's
36-year-old tires, man.
Oh, my gosh. Those are old in the NFL. But I don't think there's any harm in exploring it. But, again, the context for me is you're not looking for Taysom Hill to be more than what he would be. He's not a prime-time player. He's not a prominent piece, at least not. That's not – you don't kick the tires thinking, wow, he could really fit in a major way by the time, once he shows he's healthy. That's over. That's over assuming that he's going to contribute to that level. but I think there are ways he could contribute if Sean and George and those guys wanted to go that route. I guess I'm saying I'm fine if they do it, but I'm under no illusions that it's going to be the missing piece that puts the Broncos over the top.
I guess I'm grateful in this moment when you really think about it. Like since Sean Payton has walked in the door, we've had conversations about multiple players that used to play for him. You remember what was it, Marquise Callaway or how was that
Callaway?
Him? Yeah, Callaway.
Yep.
And Lil Jordan Humphrey is an old guy of his, and we've romanced with Alvin Kamara until he keeps re-signing. And there's so many guys that have come along that used to be one of his guys. And in previous conversations, they were almost like, we need to shore up the receiver room. We need to do something about the tight end position. But this is now a luxury conversation. And Sean Payton has worked this team into that position. I'm glad we're having a conversation. This is a guy on the fringes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're having a different conversation now than what are the Broncos going to do at right tackle? This is
right,
it's
or
not,
quarterback.
or quarterback.
Yes,
we can't cover tight ends in the middle of it, which is still kind of an issue. But it's not it's not the issue that it was. So I'm glad you're now talking about complementary pieces, and not day to day. We need to count on this guy in order to have any success.
Yeah, I think that's really fair, Kyle, and it just shows where they are, and it shows that when you bring the bulk of the roster back from an AFC Championship team, you believe that you're one of the teams that's going to make a run at a Super Bowl. It's always easy. You can't say you're the favorite, but you're at the very least in the conversation, and if not, one of the teams that's going to be right there knocking on the door. And you're right. That's where the Broncos are. We should be grateful that that's where they are, and we're not talking about, okay, so Russ is gone, and who's next?
Right.
We already know who's here and who's next. And speaking of Bo, we're going to get into Bo because I think he has started really well at training camp. I'm so encouraged by that. And I was just talking to folks last night, and they were asking about Bo. Hey, what do you think? The ankle? And I'm just like, I'm not sitting around losing sleep over it. Yes, I'm not naive. No one is that's in Broncos country. There have been ankle issues. He's had the one now as a member of the Broncos with the history in college and going back to high school. So, of course, there is a history. I don't want to minimize it, but I also don't want to I just can't sit here and worry and, look sideways and roll my eyes and cross my fingers and get all just in angst over the fact that let's hope that Bo doesn't get hurt. Well, of course, let's hope that Bo doesn't get hurt. I'm just focused on the way this offense has come out in training camp, Kyle, and Bo being the leader of it, and still really interested to see how the Davis-Webb factor works out and how he incorporates the receivers and how with Waddle and hopefully a rejuvenated Evan Ingram and a Marvin Mims, we're going to get into these guys here in just a minute, but I mean, it is really exciting. And the fact that Bo is there and seemingly is ready to take those next steps, to me says, yeah, that makes the Super Bowl window talk absolutely legitimate. Not just what they did last year, but where Bo and this offense could go for all of those reasons.
Yeah, and you think about, I think this is what you get a little bit with guys that come into the league, especially quarterbacks at a little bit of an advanced age. He understands himself. He understands the situation. Bo Nix knows that it means something for him to be ready to go in camp day one. He understands the pulse of the team and that guys are going to follow that lead. I imagine there were some tough days that went into making that happen. So just speak to the mental and physical toughness. So when people are stopping you and saying, well, what about the ankle and what's going on? To me, that's the wrong conversation. The right conversation is this guy gets it. And he understands how important of a part of the program he is. And so for him to have the start that he's had, I mean, it's just, like I said, check, sign me up for all of those things because you've got somebody who understands the situation and the iron is hot. and he knows that they have to strike. So him being there on day one, getting off to the start, and putting the ankle or ankles in the rearview mirror, sign me up for Bo Nix. As a matter of fact, the Broncos are going to be ready to sign up come the end of this year because it's going to be going into year number 4, and that's when those kind of conversations start. So, and I think he's aware of that too, by the way. This is a deal. This is a make or break year for us. Me, the program, everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows. Bo's a really smart guy, and he's got a really good business sense about.
No
as
doubt.
a quarterback,
He
you have to be
down to business.
Yes,
down to business.
But that also doesn't change. The fact that he's out there balling, and there are goals to be accomplished just based on where he wants to help bring this team. And I'm super excited about it. And it brings up the receivers. There are some guys who are showing out early in training camp. That's next.
Training camp is officially underway, and the hype around the Broncos hasn't been this way in a while. Bo Nix begins year 3. Jalen Waddle hits the field for the first time in orange and blue. Davis Webb's already showing differences with his offense. So, are expectations officially Super Bowl or bust? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus special financing. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach By here. If your home's hot upstairs and cold downstairs, that's more than annoying. It's a sign your system's leaking air and wasting money. And with utility bills climbing, energy efficiency matters. That's why homeowners trust AeroSeal Colorado. Their innovative sealing technology boosts comfort, cuts energy use, and even gives you cleaner indoor air as a nice bonus. Customers love it. A 4.9 Google rating, and some folks practically write books after the job's done. AeroSealColorado.com fixes what others can't even find. AeroSeal. Comfort sealed.
When you've been hurt after a traumatic car crash, you don't need a sales pitch from an attorney with big promises and a loud voice. You need a team who fights for real results fast. That's why so many across the country choose the Berg Simpson Law Firm. Berg Simpson is nationally recognized, but is local right here in Colorado. So give us a call and let our team fight for the results you deserve today.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal, book telehealth if she feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the new Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, get early access to our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. What if you had the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years guaranteed? Thanks to Xfinity, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through August 24th, get the best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats and finds and fixes issues before you even notice them. No annual contracts or commitments, no hidden fees, and the best equipment included. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Marcello is off. Mike Rice in for Cello, and Kyle Reese locking things down on this Sunday morning. I got the Broncos hat going for those watching on the YouTube channel.
That's a very Cello thing to do, by the way.
Well, you know, I mean,
You're dressed for the occasion. I'm not mad at you.
We're
fans.
Yeah, that's just it, man. I was telling some friends last night as we were hanging out after, well, I call him Little Man. He's not Little Man anymore. He's taller than I am, but he'll always be Little Man. You know how that goes. After Little Man's last baseball game, we were all hanging out, and it was like, I'm just excited about this Broncos season, Kyle. And I'm tempering it by, okay, day at a time, Mike. Enjoy the journey. It's a process.
Trust the process. You're coaching yourself now.
See?
Okay.
See how it is? I've learned a few things finally, or maybe. But I'm just excited. And when I see the offense get off to a good start, it just makes me think. You know, it's like when you buy that lottery ticket and you go, man, what would I do if I won? Even though you know the odds are gazillion and a half to 1 to win. You know, yeah, it's like, man, what would I do if I actually won that thing for about 5 seconds? And then it's like, okay, back to reality. I think this could be the new reality for the Broncos, though, Kyle. And I'm thinking in particular, case A1, front and center, Marvin Mims just balling out early on in training camp. Caught another touchdown pass yesterday. Pat Bryant had one. And, you know, I mean, it was earlier in the offseason, I was of the mind that there's a really good chance I think the Broncos could trade Marvin Mims. And now I'm flipped. I don't want them to trade Marvin Mims, and I'm not sure the Broncos have any interest in Marvin Mims, a deal, even if it meant that he won't be back next year because his contract's going to be up and he's going to want the opportunities. I think they need to hold on to this guy. I think he's capable in a really talented receiver room to do more than they've given him the chance to do in the past. Are you of the same mind?
About Marvin Mims?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's such an unwritten story because it's taken so much to get him the football. You know, and he's made pretty spectacular plays. And I think they just have to find easier ways to get him the ball. I'm going to go back to that conversation, that perimeter screen conversation. This is because he can be really effective in that way. But then he gives you an impact on the special team side as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think he's absolutely been undervalued in the offense. And it's going to be hard to hold on to him, especially if he has an on-par year for Marvin Mims, sayonara. Because there are going to be some people that value that and are going to be willing to pay for that. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough piece to hold on to, but let's just enjoy it while we have it because I think he can be dynamic within the offense. Now, there's a lot of people to satisfy in the offense, and I think that's going to be the bigger problem. You know, how does Marvin Mims touch the ball 5 or 6 times a game? Because I think that would be an appropriate volume for him to have an impact on the game. But then that means Cortland Sutton is losing a touch, and then J.K. Dobbins, and the list goes on and on and on. So it's a tough situation. It's a good, bad situation, Mike, with Marvin Mims.
I think absolutely, and it speaks to opportunity. And, Marvin's had great confidence, and for whatever reason, the Broncos have not they haven't thrown him the ball. They haven't put him in the game all that much as a true receiver. If you look at the numbers in his first 3 years, second-round pick, of course, and in his first 3 years, Kyle, in 48 total games played in the regular season, he's under 3 targets per game. So that tells you that he's not just not getting opportunities. He's an afterthought at best in terms of the offense. And we know what he can do down the field, and yet we also know what he can do in clutch situations. Go back to the Cincinnati game 2 years ago, late in the year, when the Broncos were trying to lock down a playoff spot. He caught that touchdown that wound up, I think, forcing overtime. And we know with the decision to go for 2, not go for 2, and all that. And then the Cleveland play, the 93-yard touchdown catch. Last year, the big touchdown against Buffalo in the playoffs. And if I'm Marvin Mims, I'm going, I just need opportunities, because I believe that I'm every bit as good as the guys in that room. And to your point, that's a really deep room. Waddle, Sutton, Franklin, Mims, right on down the line. I mean, there's some dudes in that room, and I think it's great that Marvin's pushing the envelope. But here's the question I have. I don't think the Broncos want to trade him, and when you're in a Super Bowl window, I wouldn't push for that. But are they? I don't want to make too much of training camp. Are they putting him front and center to potentially create more value for him in case a team does come calling?
Listen, if that's the chess game that Sean Payton is playing, I'd be willing to see that played out. I don't think that's the case, because I'm trying to visualize in my mind how much higher could his stock get. Teams need a good returner. He is that. He doesn't have to show you that. Speed, it doesn't take a day off. It's like defense in the NBA. Everybody values that, or a shooter in the NBA. Everybody values, and he has that. So what you haven't seen him do, you're not going to see him do. Like, when's the last time you saw Marvin Mims catch a dig route, middle of the field, 12 yards?
Well, he's never in the game, right? No, I totally get your point.
But that's the next layer of playing receiver in the league. How can you show your value in other parts of the field? We see Marvin Mims catch go balls and screens, and that's really it. So, if you're not going to increase his value in that kind of way, then I just think you're just kind of moving chess pieces around. You got 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
But then I think the challenge is, how does Davis Webb and Sean Payton, how do those guys get him more involved if you're not going to your point, use him in the ways that would be the next steps for him as a receiver? And the Broncos in general, whoever it's been, they haven't shown a desire to develop Marvin Mims into that kind of player to this point in his first 3 years.
Well, one, they've got a guy in that spot in Cortland Sutton. So naturally, you're not going to have as many opportunities. Now, you've watched Marvin Mims line up in the backfield, and that has been kind of a change of pace that throws defenses off. I don't know that they've gotten everything that they wanted out of that just yet, but there has been some attempts. Perhaps you continue to explore those things and see how they play out. But you're right. It's just, the typical receiver opportunities, they haven't come Marvin's way.
And yet I think this guy could be really valuable, and more than just a valuable piece, a valuable gadget guy. Yeah, you could design plays for him, but could you also, and again, the challenge is with the receivers we mentioned and the talented room that the Broncos have, how do they utilize him more as a receiver? And are they even interested when the games come around? Not just in training camp, when they're showing plays, showing different personnel groups or what have you. But is that going to translate into preseason games? Is that going to translate in the regular season if Marvin is still indeed here? One other guy to touch on, off to a good start in camp, is Evan Ingram. I think it's terrific, Kyle. I think they need Evan Ingram to be closer to what everybody expected as far as production last year. I do agree with him. It wasn't completely his fault, and yet at the same time, the production just wasn't there for what I think the Broncos wanted when they signed him.
I think he deserves an opportunity
for sure
to show what he can do. Now, it wasn't completely his fault, but you have to remember that the Broncos had 2 receivers in the top 15 in drops, which is part of the reason Kerry Colbert's not the wide receiver coach anymore, and we have this angst about Evan Ingram. He was one of those 2 wide receivers, so he's got to take some accountability in that. Like, okay, if I have 9 drops, I probably need to catch six of those, and then talk to me about opportunity after that. But I think there can be a meeting in the middle.
I also think that if the Broncos are more efficient in the early downs and on third down and just run more plays, and you think, well, of course, if they run more plays, but it's true. I mean, they had issues staying on the field offensively. There were great moments when the game was on the line and they had to come up with a comeback, sure. And you love that, and that's part of why they were 14-3. But I think more consistency throughout the game, more production throughout the game is going to allow 2 things: the running game to come to the fore, and also the running game then allowing that offense to rack up time of possession and rack up more series. We had someone on the RamosLaw.com text line ask about the offensive line. We're gonna get to that conversation and how we see the offensive line coming to the fore and contributing, because it's just such a huge unit. But up next, a Sunday stroll, a different kind of start to training camp for the Broncos, and a milestone for the Rockies. Stick around.
5 years, $70 million. That's Denver's reported offer. Payton Watson's camp allegedly wants more than $25 a year. Milwaukee, the Clippers, and Atlanta are all pushing for a sign and trade. And word is Watson might just take the QO, play for $6.5 million, and bet on himself next summer. So what happens next? Does Watson blink? Does Denver budge? Or does somebody swoop in and take him? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Cecil Lammy here for my friends at SodaDietAndNutrition.com. Listen, 5 years ago, I lost 60 pounds with soda, and I'm never going back. Why? Because soda was there for me with a personalized nutritionist and a diet plan specifically structured for me. Soda teaches you how to let go of the weight and keep it off for a lifetime, and that's why I can lose that 60 pounds, and I'm never going to gain it back. There are no shots, no pills, no lifetime dependency. This is just real food with expert guidance and habits that last. That's why soda is there for you like they were there for me. Get your 4 weeks free when you call 866-800-SODA and mention the Fan. That's right. Get 4 weeks free. Call 866-800-SODA and mention the Fan. You got the things that can work for you with soda. 4 weeks free is available now. Call 866-800-SODA and mention the Fan. Mention me, Cecil Lammy, there as well. Get right for the rest of the summer. It's SodaDietNutrition.com, because soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Don't care for my local hometown team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Don't get fooled by out-of-state private equity corporations that are buying local HVAC companies, offering higher prices, bad service, and shady sales tactics. Don't trust your home to someone out of state when you have the best company right here in town. ROX are experts in local energy rebates and tax credits to save you money only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
You missed it? No worries. Santiago's is giving you a second chance to grab a free unfinished business training camp t-shirt. Head to eatatsantiagos.com to find out which select Santiago's locations will be handing out 50 additional teas on the house while supplies last. But just like a good Santiago's breakfast burrito, they won't last long. Locations, dates, and times are all at eatatsantiagos.com. Fresh burritos and free gear? That's a win-win. Santiago's. Faithfully authentic.
Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment, and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and we specialize in treating men's sexual health issues to help men find solutions that fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%, which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
The weekend is upon us, and we're here to walk you through today's top headlines. So lace up and join Kyle, Reese, and Marcello Romano on this week's Sunday Stroll.
Mike Rice in for Cello this morning. Kyle Reese, as always, locking it down with us. And, man, it's just good to see you, Kyle.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
No, can I tell you that no one ever says that to me? It's good to see you, Kyle.
Well, I did.
I'm
did.
I'm going to bask in it for a second. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, bask away. Hey, we've got to go on our Sunday stroll, which I always love it when you and Cello do. Second full day of Broncos camp, and I mentioned that it's a different kind of start. We alluded to it with the offense actually making a splash early on in camp. It's refreshing with all this summer heat, right?
Yeah, you remember the days of Justin Simmons yelling across the field at Russell Wilson.
Oh,
aren't you glad
I
those
try
days
to forget those days.
Yeah. No, it is refreshing to see the offense get off to the start that they have. Now, again, it's going to be one of those situations. Wait till they get the pads on. Defensive guys are chomping at the bit. They're tired of hearing about it. It's only been 4 days, but they're tired of hearing about it. So we'll see this week. It'll be fun.
And we saw the D kind of bow up a little bit. We'll get to the defense next segment. We stroll on to the Rockies. They've done it, Kyle. The Rockies have done it. We keep it in perspective, but they've done it. Last year, 43 wins, 119 losses. Rockies beat the Royals last night 12-6. They are now 44-67. No, it's not a great record. It's not anything to brag about, but they have surpassed last year's win total, and they did so on August 1st, 2 months, with 2 months remaining in the season. So to avoid another triple-digit loss season, they need to go, I think it's 19-22, if I have the math right, or thereabouts.
So no. That's close to 500 ball. And if they were that, they would have done that a long time ago. So
see, you had to bring the cold water, didn't you?
Listen.
I mean, come on. Here, I'm trying to give them a little pat on the back, but no, you want no part of it.
I heard you say milestone. I was trying to figure out what the hell you were talking about.
Man.
Okay, progress is a process. Can we find the silver line? To be as bad as they have been, they have new management, some motivated leadership, and some people that are good at business that are circling the program. So you can be excited about that. You have Hunter Goodman, who has been a bright spot, probably a snub for the home You would agree with that?
Definitely.
Okay. So I just don't want him to join the list of guys that basically catapulted from the Rockies to the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Okay, wait, though. I must – here's why I'm interrupting your rant, because I was an English major, and I just showed why. They need to go 19-32 to avoid 100 losses. Does that change, as they say, does that change the calculus for you? Speaking of math, that's too advanced for me.
19-32, can they pull that off? Can they win 20 more games? Alex?
I'm going to say yeah. 19-22, I would have said no. 19-32, I think they can do that. That's what, 13 games under the rest of the way? That's doable.
I'm double-checking the math. But if it's 19-32, I'm in for that. They will avoid a 100-loss season if that's truly what it is. As I'm questioning myself in real time.
We've got some help on the text line. 19-32 would be the benchmark there.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to roll with that. If Alex says yes, and I usually roll with you, but you know,
I'm proving
you
otherwise.
got smoke coming out of your ears because you're over there trying to figure out what 19-32 equals. I'm going to roll with Alex on this one. He's our resident baseball guy. So he says they can do it. I'm on that train. Now, listen, Alex, there's a lot of pressure here. They can win 19 games. I said 20 just because
you want a little buffer.
I need a little buffer. You can say they can win 19. I'm with you.
I'm with you guys, too. They avoid the triple-digit losses.
Yeah, so would they lose 99 at that point? I mean,
if they go 19-32, yeah, they're 63-99. But that's a step in the right direction when you lose 119.
Yeah, and I guess I can accept it as that. It is a step in the right direction.
As you did catch the preface. We keep it in perspective. They're still
the second worst team in baseball.
I was going to say I don't think they're in the cellar. I'm gonna call up the standings here real quick.
Yeah, only Angels are worse.
There you go.
But worst in the NL.
So look, the past decade and a half, it's been the Rockies, the A's, the White Sox. They all like to fight for the worst team.
This group is going to get the Rockies out of the cellar in the National League. And by this group, I mean specifically Paul DePodesta, Josh Burns, and the front office. And now they're not.
And the Rockies say, "Get out of here! You don't belong here." What are you doing over here?
That's
Stop
cold.
hanging out in places like this.
You can't get. I mean, you know what?
You don't belong here.
See,
you go home right now.
I'm not going that far. I'm sorry. They're still my Rockies. They are.
They're our Rockies. I mean,
they're not yours.
Well, I know. It's kind of like family. You don't get to pick them. It's the baseball team. It's the baseball team for the city. I get it.
All right. We stroll on to the Nuggets. We're still waiting for news on Payton Watson, waiting to see if they're going to get under the luxury tax heading into the season, waiting to see if they deal anybody, waiting to see if Joker signs his contract, which I don't think he's going to sign it, and if he does, it'll be next summer. We're twiddling our thumbs. I mean, LeBron was supposedly the linchpin move. That came and went. He's now in Philly. Peyton Watson wants his bag, and it has to be at least as big as that of Christian Brown and the $25 million a year AAV. I don't know if he's going to get that from the Nuggets, but I do know this, and I'll stick with it until I see otherwise, Kyle. If the Nuggets give Peyton Watson that kind of contract, they're going to deal another contract away. I do not see them paying hundreds of millions of dollars in luxury and repeater tax money to the league. Don't see it.
Listen, this is some scar tissue that I think we're experiencing. And the scar tissue of the Zignaji deal, perhaps the Christian Brown deal, even though that one is still relatively new. Aaron Gordon's deal, just kicking it. This is probably a little bit of a organization that's gun shy right now. And so it's leading to them doing nothing because Calvin Booth basically said, "Hey, Zignaji, and come on in, and Christian Brown, let's go ahead and." That was Christian Brown? He signed that deal as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah,
you're
trying to figure out how to undo all of this.
Well, and Brown's kicks in this year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first of 5. And the AAV is 25. This year, the hit for Brown, or the cap hit, the amount that he'll earn is 21.5, so it's a little bit less. I know there are not the history from the Nuggets or organizationally that would suggest to me that they're willing to be the only team in the NBA in the second apron and stay there, and they're the only team in the NBA that is interested in a tax bill north of $200 million. I just don't see it.
You remember when the Heat had their dream team?
Yes.
And I think Golden State has been a part of that too. And we're going to pay the money because, listen, these players are good. It is what it is. We can win these championships and deal with the consequences later. But multiple championships were won. The Nuggets are in a very similar situation, and you've got a first round out to the Timberwolves, who are playing without their two and a half best players.
Again,
I hate to be a negative Nancy, but
seriously, I mean, first it's the Rockies, Alex. Then he's hammering the Nuggets, and
they don't deserve it.
They do.
Okay.
No, they do.
Okay.
They absolutely
Case
do.
closed.
Yeah, case closed is absolutely right. They do deserve it. Back to Broncos camp in a moment. We're going to look at the O-line, and there's some guys that said, hey, don't forget about us too.
It's Training Camp 2026, Unfinished Business. Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth will kick things off starting at 6 a.m. Powered by Applied Technologies. Then Dover and Cecil will react live to all the action until 2 p.m. Thanks to Denver Roof Pros and Beyond Dino Law Firm. At 2, The Drive will recap the day thanks to Aero Seal Colorado. Stay locked into Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and DenverSports.com for all the latest news and information during football season. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
For 90 years, Belco Credit Union has proudly called Colorado home. That's thanks to all our members who have helped us grow alongside our beautiful state. To celebrate our anniversary, Belco is offering a special low fixed rate on a new home equity choice line advance. If you've been waiting to start a new home renovation project, now's the perfect time. Go to belco.org/90 years to see full offer details. Equal housing opportunity lender. Membership eligibility required. All loans subject to approval. Belco, banking for everyone.
A lot of personal injury lawyers make claims about how good they are. But how do you know who's the best? At Berg Simpson Injury Lawyers, we've helped Coloradans for 50 years, and our results speak for themselves. We have 29 best lawyers in America, 19 super lawyers, and we're one of the National Trial Lawyers' top 25 most influential law firms. Compare us to other firms, then call Berg Simpson.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
High prices are here to stay. Gas, groceries, insurance. And if you're a homeowner, you've probably thought, should I call American Financing to refinance and pay off this credit card debt? Then you second guess yourself because of that low mortgage rate you currently have. Listen, that low rate, it's not saving you if you're drowning in credit card interest at 25% or more. That's the math no one wants to face, but it's costing you thousands. Here's the truth. If you're only making minimum payments, that debt will follow you for years. That's why people are calling American American Financing because they're saving customers an average of $800 a month by using their equity to finally break free from credit card debt. You owe it to your family to see what's possible. There's no upfront fees, no pressure. It costs you nothing to find out what you could save every month. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. So call American Financing at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Average savings based on borrowers who save over $200.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello.
Text line 303-713-1043. The YouTube chat is powered by Champ Honda. Head on over to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube page if you'd like to join us that way. We will get back to baseball because we are going to play Deal or No Deal with the Rockies. And we should also mention again off the top of hour number 2, the rich get richer, Kyle, with the Dodgers agreeing to trade for Tigers ace Tarek Skubal. We'll dive into that in just a little bit, but man, oh man, I grew up hating the Dodgers, so that's just naturally in me, and it has never left. When I was growing up a San Francisco Giants fan, it was just what you did. You hated the Dodgers, and now that the Rockies are more my team and the Giants have faded from my fandom, I still hate the Dodgers, so there's that common thread. And yet, man, I mean, they go get everybody, and they'll probably re-sign Skubal this offseason and defer all his money and give him part of the ownership or whatever it is. It's crazy. It's nuts.
They know how to continue to make themselves the focal point of Major League Baseball. That was once the Yankees, right? And I think the Red Sox probably dabbled in it a little bit.
Sure.
But the Dodgers have cornered the market in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they are that team right now, for sure. And so we'll jump into some baseball a little bit later on in this hour, but we want to get back to Broncos camp after our Sunday stroll. We're seeing some things we haven't seen from the Broncos offensively in training camp, and we went through that, but let's focus on the big fellas, guys in the trenches. Offensively, the O-line, and we had on the RamosLaw.com text line from the 4455. Could you please spend some time on the offensive line? I'm just not convinced that they're the right mix for us to be successful. So let's do that, Kyle. And I know it's early in camp, but we know this starting group is a veteran group and a highly paid group. Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Luke Wattenberg, Quinn Miners, Mike McGlinchey left to right along that offensive line. Is it the right mix of guys? I would take issue with the texter a little bit, but I want to get your thoughts.
I think it's a valid question because there are guys that obviously they've been in the league for a while. They know what they're doing. You've got an all-pro in Quinn Miners. And so, that in and of itself is like, okay, give me more of that. That's like a gift to Broncos country. But at the same time, the things that have been a problem for the Broncos aren't the things that those guys specialize in. Quinn Miners, yes, he'll go downfield. He'll get you a 2-for-1. He'll get to the second level. There was a highlight in the Cowboys game where he got a guy on the second level, mowed him over, and then got a safety on the way to a R.J. Harvey touchdown. So he's that guy. And you would like to see a little bit more of that because downfield blocking is what can be an accelerant for your run game. Garrett Bowles doesn't do that. Mike McGlinchey doesn't do that. That's just not what they do. But the Broncos, and everybody would agree, in order for the Broncos the biggest room for improvement is in the run game for the Broncos. So I understand how the texter might say, are you at now a crossroad with the Broncos in the offensive line position? Yes, they're good. And you would accept them just as is. But can you get better in this aspect, and would that make a difference?
So here's my question. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I did not ask you this beforehand. So this is real-time debate, if you will. If the Broncos O-line struggles to the degree you're suggesting to run the football, how does J.K. Dobbins do what he did when he was healthy through the first 10 weeks, where he's a top 3 to 6 running back in the National Football League?
Because J.K. Dobbins is J.K. Dobbins.
And that's fair. Yeah. That's a fair response. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just emphasizing you're going to give J.K. more of the credit than you are the O-line helping J.K. get the credit.
Well, case in point, Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams went to Dallas and had a 1,000-yard year, and he had 1,000 yards with like 14 or 15 games left. So when you put that guy behind that O-line and you make it a point, and keep in mind, this is a Cowboys offense that has George Pickens on it and C.D. Lamb on it. So they have other options, but they saw value in what Javonte Williams could do. A volume rusher. Got better. You remember the Indianapolis game? There was a huge run when he spun the ball.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're not supposed to be able to do that. I got a 15-yard flag for that last year, twice. Anyway, he was a volume guy. You give him the ball 15 yards a game, he's going to get you 70 yards, which is what he did. So I just think if you give the opportunity to the rusher, whoever it is, and allow them to get in the rhythm, they can. I'm not telling you the Broncos are trash at the offensive line position, but I'm just telling you, you don't have a bunch of road graders up there.
No, I mean, I think that's fair, but I don't see the comparison to Dallas as being completely apples to apples. You have a much more experienced and over time a quarterback that has put up huge numbers. I think you as to your point, you have two dynamic receivers, like their personalities. Are they divas or not? I don't care. I'm just talking about their production on the field. Broncos, added a piece in that department because they didn't have that. Do I think the Dallas offensive line is maybe a little bit better? Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I'll grant somebody that, but man, I think the Broncos O-line gets shortchanged because they lost their top running back. Do I think it's and the other part of it is I don't think Sean Payton stuck to the run. Part of the reason he didn't stick to the run last year is because they couldn't stay on the field adequately. Early downs, not all that successful in creating second or third and 4, 5, or 6. Third down conversion percentage, not all that great through the bulk of many games. Yes, they had great comebacks. Yes, Bo was able to come through in the clutch. That's all great, and it all counts. But in terms of the whole offense being more productive, I do think we're going to see, with the addition of Waddle, with what Davis Webb brings as a play caller, and I do think he's going to take some shots downfield, and I do think he's going to use the running game, and I think they'll generate more opportunities, Kyle, because they're going to be on the field longer. That's just the way I hope it plays out, and I think it very well could play out. So I'm not quite with you on pointing the finger at the offensive line to that degree.
No, listen, I don't think it's completely the offensive line either. I just don't know that they can improve that much in order for J.K. Dobbins to now get 100 yards and 15 carries. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know that they specialize in that. Now, they do what they do very well. And Garrett Bowles, I mean, you consider what that guy has been through and just the peaks and valleys of his career, and then to be, being all-pro, and then now protecting the backside of the new franchise quarterback and do it at a high level. You have to tip your hat to those guys. But at the same time, it's like, okay, is he going to be able to be a guy that can reach block in the wide zone game? And now you become more dynamic in that area. I just think he's been in the league long enough to where you say, okay, that's what Garrett Bowles is. And that's okay. We'll take it as is. One, to your point, Broncos, you want to guess where they ranked in terms of rushing attempts per game last year?
Yeah, they were up there, I believe.
20 in the league.
Okay, they weren't up there.
Yeah, 20.
My recollection was not very good.
They were up there in pass attempts per game.
Yeah,
now, remember,
Bo
Nix led the league in
yes.
that. But in rush attempts per game, to your point, it just is not something – it's something – a lane that Sean Payton just shifted out of too quickly. You guys – I get a lot of grief for not having office space committed to memory, but remember the way the movie starts? The guy's switching lanes, and then that lane goes forward, and then he switches back in that lane, and that lane stalls out. That's like Sean Payton in the run game. Like, man, stay in the lane for a little bit. Trust the process.
So a couple of thoughts from the RamosLaw.com text line from the 1198. We didn't run the ball consistently when Williams was with us, running back by committee. He got more opportunities in Dallas. And look, I mean, J.K. was clamoring for more of a workload last year before he got hurt. I think there's some validity to that point.
To the
point
opportunity?
That, yeah, I mean, when Williams went to Dallas, he was the guy. Remember, before the Broncos said, okay, we're gonna pass on bringing you back, we're gonna cut ties. Sean Payton, remember, before Williams' final year in Denver, said, I sat down with Javonte, showed him the film, and I want more of that guy, the guy who's barreling through guy. And the Broncos never got that guy. And so the Broncos felt, I mean, was that the offensive line's fault? Was it Javonte coming back from the knee injury and not being back to his full self? I don't know. It
wasn't the knee injury to me.
By that point, I tend to agree with that.
At this, you look at what he did. I believe that was his rookie year, and he was splitting carries right down the middle with Melvin Gordon. That was what everyone was trying to recapture with Javonte Williams. Now, if you tell me the guy can do it with half the workload, and he's sharing the backfield with another running back, well, just give him. You split it down the middle and give him the touches that you were giving Melvin Gordon and see what the guy can do with it. I'm with the texter. The opportunities weren't there. But at the same time, I'm with you in that the rhythm of the offense didn't allow for it. If you lead the league in 3 and outs, well, how many touches is the running back going to get?
That's fair. And if you have a running back that has an injury history, freak injury or not, gets hurt after a good 10-week start, that plays into it as well. I found it interesting, and I'm guessing you did too, that Dobbins this week at training camp promised to play in all 17 games.
A lot of people always say, oh, he's good for the first 10 weeks. Like, I'll be in the top 3 for the first 10 weeks, right? And they'll be like, oh, he does this every time. Well, this year, forget a top 3. I keep saying it. People think I'm crazy, but I'm going to be number 1. And I'm going to keep it there for the whole year. 17 games. A lot of people always get mad when I say, yeah, the injuries are over, because I said it last year, but that one was pretty fluky, right? This year, there won't be any. And there won't be anything for anyone to say about my injuries, because I'm going to play all 17 games, and I'm going to give my team everything I got for all 17 games, and I will be there for all 17 games. I'll pinky promise all of you right now.
So he's got the pinky promise.
Oh, man.
And another thought from Dobbins, and then I want to get your reaction, Kyle. He says he is banking on just the odds of being injured or the odds of staying healthy finally being in his favor.
Prayed on it. The storm can't last forever. Like, I'm from Texas, born in Houston, Texas. We get hurricanes, right? But they never last forever. And I mean, golly, I mean, I've talked to somebody, they say things come in threes, right? All on my left leg, I've had the knee, the Achilles, and the foot. It's over. Like, whoever has my doll, like, on the left side, they're done. Like, it's just done. It's going to be, like, you'll see. I'll pinky promise all of you. If it happens, I'll buy you a drink or whatever you need. Like,
Oh, there are some people making their reservations right now to cash in on that. What do you think?
I like him projecting, and it sounds like he's has some confidence about it, and it sounds like he's fairly lighthearted about it, and I can appreciate that because those things can, for a professional athlete, take you to a dark place. So I'm glad that he's in a good place mentally about it and confident in what he can do. And if that's true, and J.K. Dobbins carries the ball 15, 18 times a game, he's going to have 5 or 6 games where he goes over 100 yards, and the Broncos are going to be really successful on offense. So I'm hoping what he's projecting actually materializes. Just we've seen this show before. The problem is that when we talk about J.K. Dobbins, we're not guessing. You know what I mean? We're of what we have seen on the field. And so until we see any different, if that dog bites me again, it's not the damn dog's fault. I'm just telling you. So I appreciate what he's saying.
And you're going to wait to see if it.
I have to.
We all do. Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
It would be smart. It's just good business to wait and see.
Yeah. I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic with him, and I know you are too. But I'm optimistic, right? I mean, I'm optimistic, but let's just see if in late December, early January, what's the number under the GP column, games played?
So here's the really jacked up part about the conversation. One, if I'm out there, I'm taking the pinky promise. So come on, let's go ahead and do it. Give me the pinky promise. And so if he is buying everybody a drink, if he plays in 16 games, which would be really good for J.K. Dobbins,
no doubt,
considering his history. But if he plays in 16 games and he has to buy you a drink, what you drinking?
Well,
because I think if there are people making reservations, as you said,
I'm more of a soda guy.
Well, that's fine. You know what I mean?
So I've got my
get
whatever.
Your Shirley Temple. It's fine if that's what you're doing.
Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, Alex.
What are you ordering? Alex?
What are you ordering?
I'll take a strawberry lemonade, J.K.
Oh, man. See, we're not very adventurous on a Sunday morning.
Adventurous or optimistic.
There you go. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. Hey, I want to shift to the other side of the ball because, and rightly so, there has been, I think, some cool talk about the offense, what we've seen. Marvin Mims, we talked about him the last hour. Evan Engram showing out early on in camp. Pat Bryant showing out early on in camp. I still think there's a huge upside for Troy Franklin, and that's to say nothing about Waddle and Sutton and those two guys sort of at the top of the receiver heap. But this defense, man, kind of came back a little bit. And again, is it making too much of training camp when this unit had a big day here? That's what we have right now. That's all we have. We don't have any kind of sample size for preseason games. All we have is coming out of the offseason, thirsty for football, impressions of where we think the Broncos are and what is happening day to day. Pretty good day for the defense yesterday. It's an opportunity, depending on a more substantial opportunity, I should say, depending how the Jonathan Cooper situation works out. I think Jonah Ellis is ready to have a big impact. I like the way some of the young guys are coming along, Q Robbins unit, and the fact the offense is having some success and maybe creating that competitive tension in camp early on, I think is a good thing for both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you've got to have the balance. We had heard they had been dominated all week. You're talking about on the defensive side of the ball. You would be having a conversation that says, see, we told you the defense is going to come back to earth eventually. And then there would be all kind of fire alarms going off and people running all over the place trying to put it out. It's good that, there's balance on the team. I don't know what more you could ask for in a week of practice. Your quarterback looks good. Your offseason acquisition in Jalen Waddle. Not only good, but, I mean, the dude's making national highlights. One-hand grabs, showing off athleticism, showing why that Alabama receiver pipeline is so dynamic. And so you say, okay, now defense, show me something. Just let me know that you're still there. And like you said, they said, hey, everybody calm down, chill out. We can still do what we do. Don't forget, we were the unit that led the NFL in sacks for the last 2 years. You guys are playing 7-on-7 and getting geeked about it. Wait till the pads come on.
Look, this defense, much like, remember, when we're saying, and we are, Sean isn't, we're saying the Broncos are running it back. They're not just running it back offensively with the addition of Jalen Waddle and Jonah Coleman. Hopefully Jonah Coleman doesn't need to contribute very much. I think we'll see him a little bit. They're running it back on defense, too, from a unit, obviously, that was so good last year and that led the way, especially as the Broncos were trying to figure things out in the first half of the season. You look at the way they were able to come up with enough offense in clutch situations. A lot of that was because the defense gave them that opportunity to keep the game close and then say, all right, Bo, figure it out here in the fourth quarter. And Bo and the offense did. But to think that this defense is going anywhere, I don't see it. Yeah, they could not pay John Franklin Myers that kind of money. $21 million a year? Are you kidding?
You got to go get that. Go.
Yeah, you got it. Go get the bag.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't begrudge him that. I'm just saying the Broncos could not fit that in. I mean, remember when there was a question of and the discussion about, well, are they going to pay John Franklin Myers? And doesn't look like it. I think we were all thinking, like, could they afford that $8 to $12 million range? Not almost double that. So I and the next JFMs. And I love where VJ has this defense. I love the emphasis on creating turnovers through this offseason. And if the Broncos add that piece to the defense or something close to the defense we saw last year, man, oh man, it's going to be a scary unit to go up against.
So think about the defense and the young guys in the role that you want them to play. And then think about who they're playing next to. Zach Allen probably is a pretty good person to watch film on and be in the film room with and to have conversations with about impacting the game from the interior. So, good. Well, if I'm Jonah Ellis and I'm going into year 3, am I going to year 3 with Jonah Ellis, year 2 or 3? Year 3, and I've got Nick Bonito to take notes on, and Jonathan Cooper's played well, you know what I mean, all the other stuff aside. That's a good situation for me to kind of incubate in. So, yeah, I'm excited for those, and that's what kind of lessens the impact of a guy like Jonathan Franklin Myers leaving.
Yep.
Okay, all right, we can figure it out in the draft. Even if it takes him a year, we'll still be okay because we've got Malcolm Roach and we've got Zach Allen and you've got DJ Jones. You've got some grown men that know what they're doing, you know, that will probably become expendable in the next 2 or 3 years. But these young guys that we've drafted can take their place. So
right.
This is projecting for the future. This is how you build teams, by the way. This is the Eagles template. This is maybe the Kansas City template a little bit. You know, this is the right direction for the program.
It is. And you mentioned those veterans. The Broncos paid those guys. They paid DJ Jones. They paid Malcolm Roach. They paid Zach Allen. They paid Nick Bonito. They paid Jonathan Cooper. I mean, they've paid those. They couldn't pay Jonathan Franklin Myers, and they didn't need to because of some of that young talent that's coming up. I mean, Wazirike, we saw at the end of last year, really start to come to the fore. Their third-round pick, which was their first draft pick this year, is a pretty heralded defensive lineman. I'm not saying he's going to come in, and I can't. And Yadam, I forget.
Onyedem as well.
Onyedem.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
there you go. I've got to get
this
that
week,
one down.
right? Because I'm still calling Travis Etienne. So,
but it is Jonah Ellis's third year, and I think he's ready to, again, take those steps. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what this defense can do in the turnover department, creating short fields for Bo and the gang offensive. Coming up, we'll touch on the big trade, and we'll also play Deal or No Deal with the Rockies.
Football camp about to open on both sides of the state, and both CU and CSU are starting over. In Boulder, Dion's got 2 new coordinators, another portal overhaul, and Julian Lewis trying to prove he's the guy after a 3-9 disaster. In Fort Collins, Jim Morris building from scratch with 75% roster turnover, a 3-way QB battle, and a brand new conference. Which program is trending in the better direction and can either get to a bowl game? We're about to find out. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Your air duct cleaning experts, Ductworks.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Ductworks. Summertime is all about staying cool and comfortable. But what about the air flowing through your home? You rely on your AC all summer long. Make sure the air that's circulating in your home is clean and fresh. Your air ducts collect dust, debris, and allergens year-round, and summertime airflow keeps it moving throughout your house. It's one of the most overlooked parts of your home, but it impacts the air you breathe every single day. That's why I trust the professionals at Ductworks. They're personable. When you call, you're always going to talk to a live person. They're educated guys, and Ductworks is Colorado's top-rated air duct cleaning company, trusted by thousands of 5-star reviews. Before your AC works through another Colorado summer, make sure the air you're breathing is clean. Call them for a free estimate today. 303-425-0985. That's 303-425-0985 or online at ductworks.com.
303-425-0985.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Your dog is limping, but she seems fine. Plus, you've heard they can fake it just to get what they want. So what's the deal now? You're being gaslit.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Oh, now she switched legs. What a diva.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Cecil Lammy here for my friends at SodaDietAndNutrition.com. Listen, 5 years ago, I lost 60 pounds with soda, and I'm never going back. Why? Because soda was there for me with a personalized nutritionist and a diet plan specifically structured for me. Soda teaches you how to let go of the weight and keep it off for a lifetime, and that's why I can lose that 60 pounds, and I'm never going to gain it back. There are no shots, no pills, no lifetime dependency. This is just real food with expert guidance and habits that last. That's why soda is there for you like they were there for me. Get your 4 weeks free when you call 866-800-SODA and mention the fan. That's right. Get 4 weeks free. Call 866-800-SODA and mention the fan. You got the things that can work for you with soda. 4 weeks free is available now. Call 866-800-SODA and mention the fan. Mention me, Cecil Lammy, there as well. Get right for the rest of the summer. It's SodaDietNutrition.com because soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Mike and Kyle, cello with the morning off. just going to offer, and I know you and Cello are great together on the air, and I know you're friends off the air, but any shot you want to take at your partner? I mean, anything you need to get off your chest while he's not here? I want to be here for you in that regard.
No. I think I do a pretty good job when he's here.
Give him a week off.
Give him a week off. Let him breathe for a hot second. But I can't wait to have that screen conversation with him, especially just because he hates it and it's not going anywhere. Alex, Marvin Mims 19 screens last year. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. So that'll be fun when we get back. So hopefully he can just kind of gnash his teeth all week. Like, I got to deal with Kyle next week talking about these damn screens, and I don't like it. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So maybe before we get out of here at 10, we'll give you a chance to
look in the camera and Cello, I'm coming for you.
A little precursor, right? Yeah. This is the research that
Kyle
what he
has.
Why don't you put Cello's business in the streets? Because he's notorious for putting your business out in the streets that you don't want out there.
Talking off air, and then so if you said off air, I said yes. I said it off air.
Nice. Yeah, Cello, great guy, and back next Sunday, I assume. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see next Sunday. All right. Alex Becker alongside, of course. Great to have Alex along. Guys, we got to talk a little baseball. And the RamosLaw.com text line is there. If you want to jump on that, 303-713-1043. The YouTube chat is powered by Sean Ponda. Head to the Fan YouTube page to take part in the show that way. Yes.
I'm on the chat right now. So if you guys want to have some fun,
okay.
Reese is in the chat. Let's go.
There we go. All right. Let's talk baseball, guys. The Major League Baseball trade deadline is tomorrow, 4 o'clock Mountain Time. The first big domino fell with the Tigers agreeing to trade pitcher Tarek Skubal to the Dodgers for 3 prospects. The word is, and look, we know the Dodgers have a great farm system. We know that they gave up a lot, at least by the industry guys who know those pieces. I don't know those pieces, but you don't get Tarek Skubal for free. And I could see the Dodgers just ponying up and signing Tarek Skubal to a long-term deal after this season anyway.
The Dodgers have a great farm system. It's the rest of the league. That's the farm system.
They poach the best players.
I mean, anyway, go ahead. I'm listening.
All right. We've got to play what we all know, deal or no deal. Rockies have veterans. Will they, not do we want them to trade these veterans, but will they trade these veterans? First guy up on the block, outfielder Mickey Moniak. Career year, finally figuring it out, settling into a productive major league season and couple of seasons after being the number 1 overall pick, but not really panning out with the Phillies and also the Angels. So Mickey Moniak, Kyle, do the Rockies deal Mickey Moniak?
I guess the question is, if you're following the blueprint of, let's say, the White Sox, and is he a cornerstone piece in the 3 to 4 year plan of the Rockies actually being a contender? I would lean towards no.
Which means they deal him.
That means you deal him.
Alex?
I agree with what Kyle said. I think he stays, though. I would say no deal on Moniak. I see him maybe if he moves as a platoon bat for a contender, but I don't think they move him.
Do you think they are interested in signing him to a longer-term deal, and despite his age, and I say despite because at 28, I think 28 or so, he's up there for where the Rockies are and where they're trying to get to. Do you think they'll want to try and sign him to a longer extension?
Actually, I think they will. He's had a great season and a half in Colorado. By all accounts, he loves it here. He's produced. He's hit home runs. He can play different outfield spots. I could see them, trying to sign him to like a 3-year deal.
I could see them wanting to, but I say deal. I just do. I think Paul DePodesta and Josh Burns know that when you have a guy like Moniak doing what he's doing, this is the time to get some return and to start stockpiling. Remember, this is the new front office. This is their first year, And when you've been the 100 lost darlings and, knocking on the historical door of worst record in modern baseball history, you need pieces, and Moniak's the kind of player that can bring pieces.
I think Moniak has the potential to turn into a Ryan McMahon situation too. A guy that's just staying too long. And I love it here and yada yada. That's cool. But are you going to be a pivotal piece 3 or 4 years from now?
All right, next guy up, Jake McCarthy. Talk about career years, just under 300. And there have been teams like the Astros who have been linked to McCarthy. Alex, we start with you. Deal or no deal for Jake McCarthy?
Deal. I would absolutely look to deal him. Like you said, he's having the best season of his career. He's been kind of inconsistent over his career, but he's playing great in 2026. I think you could fetch a pretty good return for Jake McCarthy. That's the outfielder I would look to deal first.
Kyle?
Same boat, honestly. 29 years old. He's going to be here 3 years from now.
No.
Is he going to be playing at this level? And you talked about the peaks and valleys, right, Alex? Are you willing to go through those valleys again?
If I had to pick a slam dunk deal among the group that we're going through, it would be Jake McCarthy. This is a slam dunk to me that they trade Jake McCarthy. You have to trade Jake McCarthy.
Well, because everybody wants somebody that's hitting 290.
Right, and he's a veteran guy. He's having a productive year, and he does not project, because of his age, simply because of that, he does not project into the window when the Rockies are mediocre plus or good, because I do think the Rockies are going to get good here over time. I'm always optimistic on that. All right, so that's Moniak is a deal for Kyle and me, but not for Alex, and we are unanimous on Jake McCarthy. Guy number 3, he's been here a while. He's been a starter. He's coming out of the pen right now, and he's had some success. The one and only Antonio Senzatella. Kyle, for the Rockies, deal or no deal?
He's 9-2 this season.
Yes.
And the biggest deal around here is what? You can't get guys to come here and pitch. So if you've got a guy that knows the ropes, maybe he's figured out the Mile High Magic or the Coors Field curse or whatever you want to call it. But I don't know that you can.
Alex, deal or no deal? Senzatella.
Deal. I would look to trade Senza. Only thing is he's making $12 million this year. I'm not sure how many teams would be interested in taking that on, but he's proved to be a lot more effective in the bullpen. Could be a good middle reliever for a contender. I would look to trade Senzatella.
I think this is close to a slam dunk. I think the Rockies will definitely try to trade Senza, and I say deal. I think again, I love what he's done as a Rocky. I absolutely do, but I think this is the year. They've got a club option on next year at $14 million. Yes, pitching is a premium, which is why I think Senzatella would bring a decent return, because the contenders are looking to fortify. And the fact he's had success out of the bullpen this year, I think is a plus for the Rockies. He's done it as a starter in the past, but the fact he's doing it out of the bullpen now, I think helps their cause. I think Senza is a deal for the Rockies. Tough one on this next guy. He's been Mr. Rocky, local guy. We know what he's meant to the organization. The results have been, I'll say, spotty, and I'm being kind here the last few years. Injuries have cropped up, and I'm talking about Kyle Freeland. We are talking about, will the Rockies deal Kyle Freeland? Not do we want them to, but will they try? Will they deal him? Alex, deal or no deal Kyle Freeland?
I would try to deal him. I don't think a deal is going to get done, though. He's got an ERA of around 7. He's making $16 million per year. I don't know how many teams would want that. I could see him possibly as a fifth starter on a good team, but I just don't think they're going to be able to get much for him back, although I would like to trade him if you can find a partner to deal with.
I got to give some love to a fellow Spartan, Thomas
there
Jefferson
you go.
High School.
There you go.
I think it would be in the organization's best interest to move him, but I'm with Alex. I don't know that the return would justify it.
Yeah, I'm just not sure, and I think Alex put it really well. I don't think there's going to be much of a market for Kyle Freeland. And so for that reason, I say no deal gets done. Do I think they try? Yeah. I mean, he's a veteran pitcher who might be able to help in middle relief or spot duty as a lefty, but I just don't see it happening.
If you did it, it would be more for him than you.
For sure.
Perhaps a change of scenery would kind of reignite his career.
Yeah. All right. Couple more to get to. Deal or no deal with the Rockies. Michael Lorenzen, veteran pitcher, starter. Boy, I mean, I still have trouble getting opening day out of my mind. But
Phillies, yeah.
Oh, oof. Well, he struggled that day. We'll put it that way. Deal or no deal, Kyle? Michael Lorenzen.
No deal.
He stays.
Stays.
How come?
Just because I know we got to get to a break.
Alex?
I don't think they trade him. He's 34 years old. He's not having a great year, not performing very well, and he wouldn't net much, in my opinion. And same with kind of Quintana's in that same boat for me.
I say deal with Michael Lorenzen. I think there's a team that's going to want a veteran arm.
Okay.
And I think they'll get one done. And he's the absolute kind of candidate that you would trade. Two other guys before we get to a break. One is Tomoyuki Sagano. Deal or no deal? Alex, he's been their best pitcher. 10 wins and has pitched pretty well in the starting role.
Really has, yeah. He's put up fine numbers this year. 36 years old. I would like to see them find a partner for Sugano. Yeah, I think you could get a decent return back. Why not? Why not deal him?
Deal, Kyle?
Deal.
I say deal as well. Again, the exact kind of candidate you would want. Utility infielder Willie Castro, Kyle.
Deal.
You think there's a... See, with Willie, I'm going to say no deal because I just don't know the market. I don't know the market interest on Willie Castro. Alex?
I would like to trade him. It's more about his contract for me, but I think a contender could see him as a bench bat. And, he's a veteran. He's been there before, and I would like to trade him.
All right. I think the Rockies are going to be active. And there's one more guy we're going to get to. He is not a veteran, but there have been talks and possibilities swirling. We'll get to that. Jump back to training camp next.
The Broncos are finally back on the practice field. The Nuggets are trying to figure out their roster around Nikola Jokic. And football season's almost here. What should Denver sports fans be most excited about right now? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
The hot weather is here. Stoke here from my team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Has another company told you that you need a new air conditioner? Time to throw in the challenge. Offers no obligation, free second opinions. They have amazing financing options and incredible rebates too. Only from the best. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Men, if your energy is down, your workouts aren't producing results, you're gaining stubborn weight, losing muscle, sleeping poorly, or just not feeling like yourself anymore, it may be more than just aging. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Our low T and body composition treatments are designed to help men regain energy, improve focus, sleep better, build lean muscle, reduce unwanted fat, and restore confidence both in and out of the gym. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we specialize in helping men optimize their health, performance, and vitality. Using personalized medical treatments tailored to your health and goals, many men begin noticing improvements in energy, mental clarity, recovery, motivation, libido, and overall body composition within just a few weeks. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, PSA and T-test, and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Guys, are you looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get Advanced Hair's breakthrough one-day treatment during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. For details and a free consultation, call 720-459-HAIR or at advancedhair.com. And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus special financing. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
What's going on, guys? Philip Lindsay here, and I know there's at least 50 of you listening to me right now who are thinking about popping that question. And if you're ready for all that, you know you need a diamond. So let me save you time and money by telling you something as simple as this. Whether you're starting your next chapter with your perfect diamond engagement ring, or celebrating a new milestone, or finally just doing something special for yourself for once, this is where it's going to begin. Imagine the finest jewelry legends all in one store together, making you feel just like family, and their service is going to reflect that. So come shop the finest loose diamonds in Denver. They have every size, shape, and price range you can imagine, in the largest selection of engagement ring settings I've ever set eyes on. And not only are they going to share the secrets of the business with you, they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you want to create moments and memories for yourself and the ones you love by going to Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers, located in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue, and also in Inglewood at Broadway and Bellevue. And don't forget to mention my name, Philip Lindsay, when you step through one of those doors.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Mike Ryson for cello, Kyle Reese here as well as always. I wonder, what do you think cello's up to? A little baseball on this Sunday?
He probably slept in, I guarantee that.
Probably so, if he could. Alex Becker is here. Always good to have Bex in the house doing his thing, and we appreciate that. We will get back to our final deal or no deal with the Rockies, and it will be Hunter Goodman, and we will get back to Broncos. But we will put that on pause until 9 o'clock because, Alex, you are next with your 3 questions.
Alrighty, guys, in the leadoff spot today, with Sean Payton presenting Drew Brees into the Hall of Fame, looking at Brees' career in New Orleans, he really took off in year 3 when he had a 5,000-yard season and 34 touchdowns. Not saying Bo Nix will get near those numbers, but could you see Nix's career kind of taking off in year 3 with Sean Payton like it did for Drew Brees?
I can see that. I don't know that he's going to get as many opportunities as he did last year. I don't want Bo Nix to lead the league in pass attempts. That's not conducive to winning, not for me. But can he become more efficient? Can he make plays in the middle of the field? Can he anticipate the way that Drew Brees did? I think that might be the biggest area where you can see Bo Nix take his game to the next level, that anticipation that Drew Brees had. Because remember, Drew Brees was a little taller than me, if that. And, so he had to navigate differently. Whatever.
Hey, I got to get my shot in. I'm only here every now and again.
Whatever. But I would love to see that, and I think it can happen.
I think, Alex, that's a really good question, and I would expect that. Expect what? Not that necessarily the same kind of statistics, although if Bo somehow got anywhere close to 5,000, it'd be like, whoa, what kind of year are the Broncos having offensively? So it's not so much the statistical comparison, but just the idea that he is taking major steps forward in his 3rd year, and I'm actually counting on that to some degree. I'm counting on the health to be good, and I'm counting on Bo to be more in command. I know that he feels comfortable on the edge and isn't going to hesitate to get out of the pocket, but I hope to see him make strides and take strides in the pocket, delivering the ball with a little bit more accuracy, especially down the field. And those are all expectations I have to one degree or another for Bo.
Bo Nix, 612 pass attempts,
Yes.
led the league, and 7 game-winning drives, also led the NFL.
And in a 17-game regular season, the 612 pass attempts equates to 36 per game. Are the Broncos over or under that this year?
They have to be under it. They have. I'd love to see them in that 29 area.
What if they run 20% more plays, though, than last year? That might be a high number. I'm literally pulling a number out of the air, out of my – what is that?
I'm pulling a number, too.
Okay.
J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, and Jonah Coleman. So, yeah.
All of the extra carry or plays go to those guys.
All of them.
There you go. All right, Alex, question 2. What do we got?
All right, guys, next up, we know with the Rockies, many have begged Dick Monfort to sell the team, but if Nikola Jokic were to leave after this upcoming season, do you think we will start hearing rumblings that Josh Kroenke needs to give up control of the franchise?
Wow.
Man, oh, man. The first impression I have in trying to wrap my mind around that nightmarish possibility is if it gets the point where Jokic is no longer with the Nuggets, they have fumbled away it's the turnover of all turnovers, the mother of all turnovers. And it would, it would set the Nuggets back, I don't know how far. As far as you can, whatever word you have for the farthest ever. Kyle, that would be a disaster. So would there be calls for Josh to relinquish control? Well, that would basically mean calls for the Kroenkes to sell the team. They're not going to sell the Nuggets. I don't see that. So I think Nuggets Nation would just have to somehow try and come to grips with that and live with that.
I don't know why the image of Richard Sherman's face after Malcolm Butler jumped in front of that pass keeps popping in front of my mind, and him almost breaking down into tears, and then Pete, no, like I can't get that image out of my head as we're talking about this scenario, because that would be, as you said, the fumble of all fumbles. It would be catastrophic. Now, that would be the knee-jerk reaction as well, because you have to zoom out and say, okay, the Kroenkes also own the Rams. They also own the Avalanche, the Arsenal, and
the Rapids.
And by all accounts, those teams have been very successful. And don't forget, the Nuggets also won a championship in that window. So, probably for those first 1 or 2 years, you would have the red ass about it, and then you'd figure out a way to get over it, because I don't think the level of frustration is the same as what it is from Coors Field.
Alex, what are your thoughts?
I think
to your own question.
Oh yeah, you're right in that they would not sell the team, but I think there would be cries for someone from the outside to take over as the president of basketball operations if that were to happen. I would think
that would be
they
fair.
would want Josh Kroenke to no longer make basketball decisions.
I would say that conversation is not out of bounds right now, and I say it in this respect because when Josh gave his end of the season press conference, he talked about being the chief culture officer. And look what happened to the culture under that watch with Michael Malone and Calvin Booth. It deteriorated to the point where they both had to go. How did it get to that point? It sure didn't look like on the court, that there was much of a culture last year with a first-year head coach. And if you have a first-year head coach, wouldn't that speak to being here more? Again, I'm not trying to run Josh's life. I'm just trying to say, are the basketball decisions in the best hands if the guy who is in charge of that and those and the culture is not here all the time? I have my doubts, and I actually think they should put Josh Kroenke up and to do more press conferences. I've said that for years because I like hearing from the guy. I want to hear what's going on with the Nuggets, and we don't get that very often.
All right, last one here. The new Broncos facilities were a big topic this past week. Quinn Miners and Pat Surtain raved about the new training facility and the convenience of everything in the building. Do you think this new world-class facility could sway free agents to come play in Denver?
Is water wet? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just in case you guys were in the car debating about whether that was true or not.
I mean, could it be like a tiebreaker between another team?
Well, I mean, people who are invested and care about winning, people can see that from the outside. And so, yes, you want to come play for the Broncos because they treat their players a certain way. Remember when Mark Cuban had the Mavs and, doing what he was doing for them? People wanted to go play for Mark Cuban. One, it was cool. Two, he cared. Three, he was going to spend the money.
Yep.
All these things are true about the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Totally agree with everything you said, Kyle. When they take care of their guys individually with the contracts and they invest in their core players and you add on they treat the team and the players the way they are with something like this new facility, absolutely it attracts free agents.
Hell, I want to play for the Broncos.
Yeah, it's like, can I do something over there?
Something.
I mean, man, put me in the corner office.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. And I don't mean like the one with the big windows. I just mean the closet in the corner.
You could put me in the old facility. I'll be
fine. There you go. I mean, Alex, I would think you're on board with that, right? It has to.
100%. Yeah, it looks, I mean, I haven't been out there, but I've just seen the videos and pictures. Looks top of the line. I mean, absolutely first class.
All right, we've got to take a break. On the other side, we'll get back to training camp. We'll also look at one more Rocky and whether or not the Rockies should trade a guy who has blossomed into a star. All of that next.
It's Training Camp 2026, Unfinished Business. Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth will kick things off starting at 6 a.m. Powered by Applied Technologies. Then Dover and Cecil will react live to all the action until 2 p.m. Thanks to Denver Roof Pros and Biondino Law Firm. At 2, The Drive will recap the day thanks to AeroSeal Colorado. Stay locked into Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and DenverSports.com for all the latest news and information during football season. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
You missed it? No worries. Santiago's is giving you a second chance to grab a free Unfinished Business Training Camp t-shirt. Head to eatitsantiagos.com to find out which select Santiago's locations will be handing out 50 additional tees on the house while supplies last. But just like a good Santiago's breakfast burrito, they won't last long. Locations, dates, and times are all at eatitsantiagos.com. Fresh burritos and free gear? That's a win-win. Santiago's. Faithfully authentic.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. What if you had the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years guaranteed? Thanks to Xfinity, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through August 24th, get the best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats and finds and fixes issues before you even notice them. No annual contracts or commitments, no hidden fees, and the best equipment included. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued. Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach By here. If your home's hot upstairs and cold downstairs, that's more than annoying. It's a sign your system's leaking air and wasting money. And with utility bills climbing, energy efficiency matters. That's why homeowners trust AeroSeal Colorado. Their innovative sealing technology boosts comfort, cuts energy use, and even gives you cleaner indoor air as a nice bonus. Customers love it. A 4.9 Google rating, and some folks practically write books after the job's done. AeroSealColorado.com fixes what others can't even find. AeroSeal. Comfort seal.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Mike Rice, Kyle Reese on this Sunday morning. Cello getting the day off. We think back next Sunday, but the bottom line is we don't really know. We're going to talk plenty of football. But we did want to clean up one last guy from our Rockies deal or no deal with the Major League Baseball trade deadline on Monday. And, guys, that's Hunter Goodman. There's been a lot of buzz around Hunter Goodman with the All-Star appearance for the second straight year, 33 home runs now with 2 more bombs last night. And the question is, at 26 years old, and I think just entering year 1 of arbitration, I'll double-check that, I mean, should the Rockies listen, and should they deal Hunter Goodman? Kyle?
I think you listen to everything, especially, I mean, like, you know, you're in the basement. You should be glad anybody's talking to you. So you listen to anything that anybody has to say. But if you're talking about a cornerstone of the franchise and a guy that you want to build around, and if you've learned any lessons from your past transgressions, Hunter Goodman has to be a guy that you continue to invest in, build around.
Alex?
I would say no. I would not look to deal him. He's got to be part of the core, like Kyle said. However, I would set the price exceptionally high and see if anyone would budge on that, because you're going to get a lot for this guy. 33 home runs this year, maybe the best hitting catcher in the MLB. I would set the price extraordinarily high, see if anyone budges, but if not, that's the one guy I'd like to really hang on to.
Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic has reported that, in particular, that the Rockies have told the Rays and the Red Sox, if you want Goodman, you have to include your number 1 prospect. And so that is at least part of the framework of a potential deal. I'm with you, Kyle. I want the best of both worlds if I'm DePodesta and Burns in the Rockies front office. I'm not going to shop Hunter Goodman because I think that's a slippery slope with fans when you have a kid who's doing this much, despite the fact that he is entering his first arbitration year and next year will be his age 27 season. So he's a little bit older. He won't hit free agency until like 2033, and he's going to be like 32 years old or 33 years old, something in that range. And that's older for where this Rockies team, again, is on the field and where they hope to be with waves of prospects on the way, at least what they hope are waves of prospects. So I would certainly listen to Alex's point. I would set the price high, but I would be sure to say we don't want to trade Hunter Goodman, but we will if the haul is too good to pass up. And if it is too good to pass up, they should not pass it up. That's the way I come down on that. All right. Shifting to football. Let's talk a little bit about Broncos training camp, Kyle, and get into this. Has the time finally arrived for one Marvin Mims? He had a touchdown catch yesterday. He's had an explosive start to training camp. The offense has had a good start to training camp. I think that's all very encouraging. Again, keeping it in perspective, it's not preseason games. It's not the regular season, but it's all we have to this point. And quite honestly, last year we didn't have a lot of opportunities to talk about an explosive offense in training camp for the Broncos. So I love all of that. Is this going to translate into more opportunities for Mims during the regular season? Has his moment in year 4 of his rookie deal finally arrived?
You were talking about a guy, and you've heard this for years, that plays a completely dependent position. In order for a receiver to get the ball, in most circumstances, the line has to play well, and the quarterback has to play well as well. And then you earn an opportunity to catch the football and do what you do thereafter. So the answer is yes, Marvin Mims can have the type of season that we are projecting. I'm kind of doing the J.K. Dobbins now. Like, no, he's going to, and I pinky promise you that he's going to have 6 touchdowns. He's going to have 2 of them in the return game. I'd like for all of those things to be true. But it's really going to depend on if the Broncos can stay on the field on third down, not lead the league in 3 and outs, and if they can run the ball a little better. And here's let me give you a stat, and then maybe you can run with it. On an offensive drive, to be efficient, you need to average 1.7 first downs per drive. So 2 first downs per drive.
Fair.
Broncos didn't do that.
No.
But if you do that, you've got to imagine that Marvin Mims would be a part of those 1.7 first downs per drive. Now, I got that from the St. John Bosco crew out in Bellflower, California, and they've done pretty well for their high school. So that's a great number to look at. And yes, if you can do that, Marvin Mims has got to factor into that.
Do you think he actually will, though? Is he going to be used, not just seen by the Broncos, Sean Payton, Davis Webb? Is he going to be used in a way that gives him a chance to be what I don't know what other term to use other than a true receiver, not just a gadget guy, not just an all-pro returner, which he brings things in both of those departments with the speed element, and maybe because of the speed element. But will the Broncos actually use him and give him the chance to be more of a receiver, or is the room just too crowded? There's too many mouths to feed offensively for Bo, and Mims is again going to be the odd guy out, and he probably won't be here next year.
Yeah, the answer is, oh man, why do you pose it in such a complicated way? Because the answer is no, Mike. It really is. Like when you think about the explosive areas of the field, middle of the field, if you can threaten that, you can have some success in any level of football. The problem is, who are you going to move out of those positions in order to make room for Marvin Mims? You can't play with 12, Mike. You cannot change the rules of the game and say, well, for this guy, we're going to have 12 players on the field. So are you going to move a 6'3", 200-pound Pat Bryant out the way?
Probably not.
In order to make room in the middle of the field or in other passing concepts for Marvin Mims, are you going to move Troy Franklin out of the way, who's also over 6 foot, and Cortland Sutton? That's where he makes his money at. He makes his money on the end cut, catching the ball on third down. So who are you going to take from to make room for Marvin Mims.
Right, and this is obviously assuming no injuries, which obviously, knock on wood, salt over the shoulder, all those things as far as the superstitions. But you're right, Kyle. I mean, what is the path for Marvin Mims to get more regular time? If you're not talking about the big play, if you're not talking about using him in the running game, on reverses, on short passes, dare we say on screens, where are the snaps going to come from? I will say, though, and it goes back to efficiency. If the Broncos are more efficient offensively, thus run. But if I were to guess how this turns out, they use Marvin Mims with the skills that he has this year in the return game as hopefully a bigger play receiver, and maybe in specialty situations, maybe some trick plays as has been talked about. And then most likely he walks in free agency and they get a comp pick. Because they're in a Super Bowl window, I think trading him now for some kind of draft pick, and I don't think anyone's going to pay a second right now for Marvin Mims. That's what he was, and he hasn't been used worthy of a second-round pick. So what's the value of a third next year when you're in a Super Bowl window and he brings tangible, productive skills that he has already demonstrated?
You're probably right about what teams would be willing to give for him, but I think, we're okay football guys, but there are a lot of really smart football guys out there too. So they can look at Marvin Mims and say, this guy is underutilized. In our system, he would be this. So, maybe it's not a second, but I don't think it's too far off in terms of how the other teams might see him. Now, this is not solely a conversation about body type either, because we look at, Marvin Mims as, we call him a gadget guy because he's that 5'10", 5'11", 185, 190-pound type guy. But you're going to see that same body type in Jalen Waddle making plays in every part of the field. So, and that's part of the reason that Marvin Mims is not going to see those opportunities in every part of the field. And it's just a room that's too crowded. So we've gone from one of the worst wide receiver rooms, quote unquote, to one of the most crowded wide receiver rooms that you can't find opportunity for guys that can really play.
I think Marvin Mims can really play. We have seen, I think this is what speaks to me. Coming through in the clutch really means a lot to me. And when he comes down with that touchdown catch as the Broncos are vying, to clinch the playoff berth against the Bengals on the road with seconds to go, that speaks to me. When he comes down with a huge 93-yard touchdown catch and run against the Browns in a game where the Broncos defense really struggled and the Broncos offense needed big plays, that speaks a lot to me. When Marvin Mims comes up with a massive touchdown catch against the Buffalo Bills in the division round of the playoffs, when Josh Allen is slinging it all over the place, that speaks a lot to me. Am I overthinking his value? Because he wasn't getting those opportunities, to your point, in the middle of the field or elsewhere on a regular basis before Jalen Waddle arrived. So why not? What is it about Mims that the Broncos don't see that? And I'm not saying that George Payton and Sean Payton are wrong. I'm not saying that. They are incredible football minds and eyes and all the rest. But what is it that Sean never saw the need to try and get Mims involved more on a regular basis? That's still a little bit of a mystery to me.
Yeah, I don't know that they don't see it. I think Sean Payton historically has been really good about getting guys the ball in creative ways. So let's flash back a little bit. Like, we saw the Saints. We saw Devery Henderson. We saw Darren Sproles. We saw Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush, he was really good in Miami. People discount that, but he was pretty good with the Saints as well. So I think that it's not a function of not seeing it. I think Marvin Mims might be a little bit before his time in this Broncos offense. Perhaps this offense wasn't ready for him when he came in. and now you're going to catch you're going to have a good year this year. I think they really can. But it's not something that he's going to be a part of for the next 2 or 3 years if he does have a good year. So he just came along too early because it was Bo Nix figuring it out. It was the offensive line. You know, can we play the same 5 for 17 games, 16, 17 games? There are all these things that you had to put in place before you could get to a Marvin Mims or a player like him. And that's the unfortunate part about it, but that's just the ebb and flow of the NFL. Like, guys come along at the wrong time.
And that might be it. But again, to reiterate a stat that we tossed out earlier, on average, under 3 targets per game in his career. He's at 136 targets in 48 regular season games in his first 3 years in the league. Last year, he had 51 targets in 15 games. That's not a high number of opportunities for a guy that you really value and think is a main cog. And clearly the Broncos, it's again, what are they doing offensively with Mims? Not what do they think of him and how do they speak of his talent. Is that talk, is that praise translating into opportunities? And for a guy who's been a second-round pick, it has not been there. I would love to be in the meeting rooms and hear, like, okay, here are the reasons that Mims hasn't gotten more opportunities, because not all the time. And I'm not trying to make the case that, you know, he's a future Hall of Famer or anything crazy like that. I'm just trying to look at it and go, man, he's come through in some big situations. Doesn't that warrant but when the Broncos have been clamoring for an explosive playmaker, again, pre-Jalen Waddle, doesn't that at least speak to, well, let's see if he can do more in various situations? And they haven't given him those opportunities, Kyle.
I think the frustration is shared because you're doing what most Bronco fans are doing, probably the entire offensive staff, offensive analyst. When your offense struggles in the way that it does, and you have a game like you did against the Raiders on primetime football last year, and you can't get 4 more points at home in the AFC Championship against the Patriots, whose defense was pretty good, was good. I'm not going to discount what the Patriots' defense was, but you're at home, you've got momentum, and you can't seem to figure out how to score more than 7 points. It wasn't going to take much to beat the Patriots. So now what do? You go lifting up everything. There's no stone that goes unturned when you have that type of shortfall on the offensive side of the ball. You're reading everything. You're analyzing. Well, let me see what we were like in third down. What can we look at where we're at in area 5 of the passing chart? You're trying to find a solution every single place. So that's all we're doing. And yes, Marvin Mims is a part of that conversation. Evan Ingram is a part of that. Why can't we figure Evan Ingram out? Why can't we figure Marvin Mims out? I don't think it's lack of trying. I really don't think that. I think it's just, hey, man, we can't lead the league in 3 and outs. And it might be that simple.
Yeah.
As you're uncovering all of these stones, it might be we just need to stay on the field for 2 more plays per drive.
2 other guys we need to talk about here, Kyle, who have really gotten off to good starts in training camp. One is a veteran, one is a younger guy. Let's start with the veteran, and you mentioned him, Evan Ingram. It looks like, again, it's a few days of camp, right? It's not a large sample size. It's all we have. But if the start continues and turns into a trend or a pattern, I think we can expect much better production from Evan Ingram once we get to the regular season. I know all of Broncos country wants that and is hoping for that. And let's hope that Davis Webb can be one of the assets in unlocking some of that increased production. I think I don't see any reason why it can't happen.
Okay.
You're not convinced.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
That's fair.
I think it can happen. But as I referenced a little earlier, a portion of that is on Evan Ingram. Now, I'm kind of going back and forth on YouTube and having fun in the chat there. And both he and Cortland, so I said 9 earlier in the show in terms of drops. But he and Cortland Sutton both had 8 drops last year. So, you know, if you cut those in half, that's a 60 reception year for a tight end that's honestly that's not a bad year for Evan Ingram. I think we want to see more explosive plays out of Evan Ingram. Not necessarily. If you have 56 touches this year, but he averaged 11 yards per touch, that's a different conversation than what we had last year. So how do you manufacture that is a bigger question. I don't know that he needs more touches. He needs fewer drops and more explosive plays.
So let me. We were talking about targets with Mims. Let me throw you out the number of targets that Evan Ingram had last year. I think targets
50 receptions for Evan Ingram last year. Sorry.
Yes, 50 receptions on 76 targets in 16 games. So it's 4+ targets per game. And I think targets are important because it shows intent. It's like Bo is like, I'm on this play. My guy that I'm throwing the ball to is, for the guy we're talking about, obviously, right now, Evan Ingram. And that, that's 50% more targets than Mims had. But, Ingram played in 16 games and Mims played in fewer than that. So if I were to ask you, do you think Evan Ingram's targets will be over or under 76? What would your thought be?
Yes. I think 75 targets is still pretty good. You know what I mean? So I'd say under. But again, I go back to the quality of the target conversation, because if you think about, the elite tight ends of the NFL. I don't know if you saw Trey McBride this week. He had a 99 rating on Madden. They had kind of like that cool Instagram thing that they did with him. But you're not going to walk into a room and argue that he would deserve Trey McBride level targets or even Tyler Warren targets. And Tyler Warren, just being in his rookie year, he had 112 targets last year. Or even Brock Bowers level of targets. So, what's the sweet spot for you? Does he need 80 targets? And then you go back to the same conversation. Well, how many? Well, you can't give Marvin Mims as many targets as you would like to if he's going to see the ball 80 times or 90 times or whatever would justify the conversation. So I'm okay with the number of targets. It's just quality. Or some of those have to be down the field. Some of those have to be matchup generated. Okay, you've got a Jaquan McMillan-sized player on you. We've got to go at that. But you scheme those type of targets. That has to be game plan. You can't just pop up in the middle of a game and say, that's what's going on now. We got to figure that out. Those type of things have to be manufactured.
So 50 catches, as you mentioned, 461 yards. Again, to play the over-under game, even with Waddle in place and presumably the Broncos offense being more explosive, more efficient, at least that's the goal. Are Ingram's regular season numbers, with assuming relatively good health, over or under those? Over 50 catches or under? Over 461 in the yardage or under?
It's over. Let me do the math on that. It's over catches.
Okay, so more than 50.
Because he improves his drop rate. He has a higher yard per catch average, and he has more than one touchdown. See, that's one thing we haven't factored into the conversation, too. Like, he scored one touchdown. That's pretty disappointing from a player that we were sitting here this time of year. I mean, we were doing backflips over Evan Ingram. At least I was, because I saw the New York Giant version of Evan Ingram. I saw that first year in Jacksonville version of Evan Ingram, who caught 100 and some odd balls that year. So, for a guy to come in and score one touchdown, just the level of productivity was extremely. So that's a number that can increase and change your entire perception about Evan Ingram. So, yes, give me more receptions. Yes, over 50. And if you get more yak, that kind of thing, I think that can shift the conversation.
So if I'm understanding you right, he was at about 9 yards per reception last year. So you're saying the yardage,
2 more yards, maybe 3.
So, but
that changes the entire conversation.
So what I'm hearing you say is over on the yardage as well, so that average comes up.
Yep, it would have.
Okay,
yeah.
And certainly, I think we would all expect the over on the touchdown catches, right?
Us non-mathematicians in here trying to figure out, well, how many yards does he get if he gets 6 more touches? Yeah. The English.
Well, yeah, I do my best. I do my best to hang in there.
But what about the touchdowns though? I mean, that's a big deal, man.
That is a big deal. Pat Bryant, big touchdown yesterday. And that's the third guy we've got to touch on who's off to just such a terrific start. Are we seeing a superstar? And I hate to put it that way, but I've got to put it that way. Are we seeing a star in the making? Are we going to see the emergence of a young player step into his own? And I know there was the concussion deal with more than one last year. And again, I'm assuming that doesn't become a factor and that he plays a representative amount of football, of games. So injuries not being a factor, making that assumption, are we going to see Pat Bryant really emerge? Because I tell you what, Kyle, when you look at what's going on in training camp to this point, he's off to a pretty doggone good start.
I don't think you're seeing the next Michael Thomas, because that's the receiver we always reference when we talk about the best years of Sean Payton and Drew Brees. The second best one is Marcus Colston. And that was, I believe, a 7th-round pick or a really late-round pick kind of guy. Now, could he blossom into something like that? Perhaps. Could he be more of a Lance Moore type player? I think that's more likely than the Marcus Colston, but I think it's somewhere in between. But I think his best days are still ahead of him, and you saw how much Sean Payton liked him in that AFC Championship game. He's tough, catches the football, he's got a grit about him. He's probably a little bit more explosive than what we give him credit for. So he's got the makings of something that can be to grow into something special.
I completely stand with you on that. I think Pat Bryant. I think Pat Bryant's in for a tremendous year. I'm bullish on this Broncos offense. I am trying to temper my excitement. I truly am.
I can help you with that.
Yeah, please. Well, that's why it's a good pairing this morning. But it's just a few days of training camp. I don't want to go off the deep end yet and rave about something that we haven't seen in game situations. But the early, and I stress that word, early indications in camp are that this offense is going to be better. Remember, they are also going against a pretty good defense, and I know it's just training camp. I get all of that. But it just goes to show, Kyle, I want to be excited about Bo. I want to be excited about this offense. Because if they unlock, like, if you think of a mansion and you go, oh, wait a minute, I just found like a couple of closets. I had no idea. If they just find a little more room, a little more production in a couple of areas. And I think there's the potential, dangerous word, of a lot more than a little. That makes sense. You see where I'm going, though? That I just get excited. And I think Broncos country wants to be excited by that. I really do. Hey, I've got to give a quick shout out. Will you indulge me? Our little man Will has a birthday today.
Happy birthday, Will.
Happy birthday, buddy. Love you much. And I look forward to seeing you after the show.
I'll get your dad to stop calling you a little man, too.
I know.
How old is he?
He's 14.
Yeah.
Will, I love you, man. Appreciate you and look forward to seeing you soon. On the other side, we're going to reset. We're going to talk about another aspect of the Broncos. Those guys are saying, hey, don't forget about us. We're going to talk about the running game and whether or not the Broncos will increase the opportunities. And, of course, the MLB trade deadline is upon us. All of that comes up in just a moment.
Training camp is officially underway, and the hype around the Broncos hasn't been this way in a while. Bo Nix begins year 3. Jalen Waddle hits the field for the first time in orange and blue. Davis Webb's already showing differences with his offense. So, are expectations officially Super Bowl or bust? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Don't care for my local hometown team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Don't get fooled by out-of-state private equity corporations that are buying local HVAC companies, offering higher prices, bad service, and shady sales tactics. Don't trust your home to someone out of state when you have the best company right here in town. ROX are experts in local energy rebates and tax credits to save you money only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair, ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Anna had a very severe brain injury.
My dad got in contact with Barry Simpson. They didn't think about the money. They thought about what was best for Anna. That's all that mattered to me, just making sure that she was okay.
Not only would I recommend Berg Simpson to others, I have recommended him.
Berg Simpson to others.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
What's going on, guys? Philip Lindsay here, and I know there's at least 50 of you listening to me right now who are thinking about popping that question. And if you're ready for all that, you know you need a diamond. So let me save you time and money by telling you something as simple as this. Whether you're starting your next chapter with your perfect diamond engagement ring, or celebrating a new milestone, or finally just doing something special for yourself for once, this is where it's going to begin. Imagine the finest jewelry legends all in one store together, making you feel just like family, and their service is going to reflect that. So come shop the finest loose diamonds in Denver. They have every size, shape, and price range you can imagine, in the largest selection of engagement ring settings I've ever set eyes on. And not only are they going to share the secrets of the business with you, they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you want to create moments and memories for yourself and the ones you love by going to Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers, located in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue, and also in Inglewood at Broadway and Bellevue. And don't forget to mention my name, Philip Lindsay, when you step through one of those doors.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation, because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols, and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special, both for you and your partner. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're the leader in treating ED in the area. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. What if you had the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years guaranteed? Thanks to Xfinity, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through August 24th, get the best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats and finds and fixes issues before you even notice them. No annual contracts or commitments, no hidden fees, and the best equipment included. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Rise and shine, Colorado.
Good morning, Vietnam!
The sports world never sleeps, and neither do we.
Why don't you wake up and smell what you're shoveling?
So here's Kyle, Reese, and Marcello Romano with your wake-up call.
Just to wake up, wake up.
Cello's off. Mike Rice in for him as we reset on this Sunday morning, get you ready for this beautiful day. We were talking a lot about the offense, Kyle, but we got to reset a little bit with Broncos training camp because the defense, I love what Mace and Cease were talking about on Orange and Blue After Dark last night on the Denver Sports YouTube channel. And that is, as Mace put it, the D strikes back a little bit yesterday. And after the offense won the day on Friday and a good start and still some big plays offensively yesterday. But let's not forget about VJ and all the guys up front and the pressure packages, which I think we're starting to see. I'm interested to see if that pressure packages become a part of creating more turnovers. I would think when you create 62 sacks, that, you know, an extra strip sack or two might be a way to get those takeaway numbers.
And errant throws. Give me something. What do you think is, so outside of turnovers, because I think that's one of the ones you probably should have up on the grease board in the locker room.
The number one.
What's the next frontier for the Broncos defense?
Man, that's a great question. I think the next frontier is consistency. we be that unit that is stifling at all times. We saw them leak a little oil in the run defense at times. We saw them get gashed. Don't get gashed. Don't be that unit. And look, I'm splitting hairs because we know how much this defense meant to the Broncos last year. We know what kind of unit they were. But if you're the guys on that side of the ball, it's like there are more frontiers. There are ways to get better. I think the other frontier is of the younger players, not just the draftable guys, but Q Robinson, Savion Jones, Jade Barron. Who will be taking those steps forward? Who becomes just a key part of the rotation positionally for the Broncos defense? Because they do need to replenish a little bit. You always need to be looking in those areas. So I would say get which of the young guys become impact players and the consistency factor.
Yeah, I think as you look at the schedule, they are going to face the same type of quarterback probably all the way up into the bye week. Patrick Mahomes, you've got to believe that he won't be as mobile and creative, at least from the onset, as he has been in the past. Then you've got Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford, Brock Purdy. He's the most mobile of guys. Justin Herbert, and who knows who Arizona's going to have. And then you've got Sam Darnold. So you've got guys that aren't going to hurt you with their legs like Josh Allen did in the playoff game last year. So you've got to shift your thinking a little bit. But how do you get pressure on guys that see pressure all the time because they're this iteration of statues? They're more athletic than previous eras, but they're still not Jaden Daniels, those kind of guys.
Right.
So how do you get pressure on those kind of guys? And then how do you confuse them in the back end to not only create those turnovers, but to keep them from carving you up when they see pressure?
Yeah, and when it comes to Mahomes in particular, I mean, VJ's defenses have had pretty good success against Mahomes in that area. Now, Patrick's also been Patrick, but as the Broncos have gotten better, they fared pretty well. As we wake up and reset, another aspect to the Broncos, which I think is so interesting. Last year we were clamoring for the Broncos to run the ball more. And when J.K. went down, it was really tough, I think, to see the kind of production. But even when he was in the lineup the first 10 weeks, he wanted more touches. He wanted more carries. I think Broncos country wanted more carries. The Broncos in the regular season last year averaged just under 27 carries, rushing attempts per game. That includes bow numbers by play caller for the Broncos to be running the ball more again this year.
You know what would be funny is if I wish we could hear the headsets, man. I just wish it would be so cool because I could just hear Sean, hey Davis, I want to run the ball here. And Dave's like, you reminding me to run the ball? Like, remember who's talking to who here. But I can imagine that being the case. But there's got to be some kind of communal commitment to that. Hey, when I start getting off script or when I start getting away from things, remind me to plug this in here or remind me the conversation that we had about how we want to attack this thing. Because sometimes offenses can get in a rhythm and they get away from their game plan. So I think they can keep each other honest in that regard.
Yeah.
So hopefully that is what happens.
All right, and as we reset, quick look at the MLB trade deadline. A couple of deals yesterday. Luis Castillo goes from the Mariners to the White Sox. The Pirates bolster their bullpen, getting Camilo Doval from the Yankees. But the big one, of course, the big deal, the Dodgers acquiring pitcher Tarek Skubal from the Tigers in exchange for 3 pretty highly regarded prospects. It also leads to, as we played earlier, deal or no deal for the Rockies and a group of veterans that they have. I do think the Rockies are going to be pretty active before the deadline, which is tomorrow at 4 Mountain Time.
Because the Dodgers needed more pitching.
Oh, my gosh. You can get me started on the Dodgers. I could go on a pretty big Dodgers rant, but it is what it is. And then I would fully expect the Dodgers to sign Tarek Skubal to a long-term deal. I don't think they make this deal with the idea that he's just a rental player.
Yeah, and listen, I always like to lean on Alex for this because, he goes whether the Rockies stink or not. So I don't know. How active are the Rockies in up to the trade deadline for you?
I hope very active. I think in years past, we thought they were going to make a lot of trades and then end up doing very minimal. I think under this new leadership and front office, they will be active, and they will be looking to make trades, and hopefully more than one of them by tomorrow afternoon.
Hope is not a good strategy, but it is a good motivator. And I think that there's a little bit more hope in the franchise. And with that, you're a little bit more bold in some of your moves. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's the case.
Right, and I don't think DePodesta and Burns are going to be afraid to deal guys. I think they know that's exactly when you have some of these veterans and your season is basically over. I mean, it really doesn't matter if the Rockies lose 100 or not again. It just doesn't. What matters is, are they getting better, and are they building with more talented young pieces? I think we're going to see them. I think we're going to see them deal 4 or 5 guys. I really do.
Wow. That would be something.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't like those guys. It's not because I don't think that they're good players. But this is what you do when you're trying to build a baseball team that's not just respectable, but contending for division titles and making playoff runs and being in the World Series conversation. And I know you can think that's silly talk with the Rockies. Look, the fact of the matter is, if they're not thinking that way, sell the team and get somebody in here who is. Because I don't want that's what I want my baseball team to be thinking. And I do think they are thinking that way, and that's why I think DePodesta and Burns are going to be active in at least trying to get deals done. It's easier to play fantasy baseball than it is to actually get a deal done as a GM or a president of baseball ops. But I think they're taking a lot of calls. I think they're making a lot of calls, and I think they're going to get some deals done, and they need to. They absolutely need to.
100%.
All right, when we come back, we're going to look ahead and maybe prognosticate a little bit what could be in store for training camp this week and kind of put a bow on the show. That is next.
5 years, $70 million. That's Denver's reported offer. Payton Watson's camp allegedly wants more than 25 a year. Milwaukee, the Clippers, and Atlanta are all pushing for a sign and trade. And word is Watson might just take the QO, play for $6.5 million, and bet on himself next summer. So what happens next? Does Watson blink? Does Denver budge? Or does somebody swoop in and take him? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception that they love to bust. You don't need 20% down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, make it happen. Call American Financing, 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Colorado, it's time to take our recycling to the next level. That's why Recyclon Colorado is bringing you more curbside and drop-off service from peaks to prairies. Guidelines as clear as our skies, so you know what goes where. And the price? As free as gawking at bighorns on I-70. You deserve a recycling system you can count on, like your puffiest winter coat. And we're here to give it to you. Learn more at recyclon.org/Colorado.
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly near and far without any glasses thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cudarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at ColoradoRLE.com. Cudarelli Vision, RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. ColoradoRLE.com.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus special financing. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Don't care for my local hometown team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Don't get fooled by out-of-state private equity corporations that are buying local HVAC companies, offering higher prices, bad service, and shady sales tactics. Don't trust your home to someone out of state when you have the best company right here in town. ROX are experts in local energy rebates and tax credits to save you money only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Yeah,
That's it, Kyle.
You've already got more swag than Dan Jacobs. Just like instant swag.
I don't have much. What do they call it? Rhythm. I got about.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
No, you don't have
No.
to. The people on the YouTube chat are like, Mike, just do the show, okay?
Yeah.
Stop with that. Just stop. Oh my goodness, it's been a lot of fun. Mike Rice in for Cello, and of course Kyle Reese manning his familiar post on Sunday morning. Thanks for letting me hang out with you this morning, Kyle. It's been great.
It's always a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, it really
Always.
is. It's fun. We've got a couple things to get to, and just some interesting texts that have come in on the RamosLaw.com text line about baseball. And I want to get to a couple of these, Kyle, and then we'll close it out with some thoughts on the Broncos week ahead in training camp. Phil in Arvada says, I cannot begin to express how disappointed I am in our Rockies that they did not even make an attempt to, he says, sign, I'll say trade for pitcher Tarek Skubal of the Tigers. I thought with the influx of the finances from the Walton Penner Group that we would be more active. I know that we are more than one player away, but with the addition of this picture, we would be one player closer to being relevant again. I see that, Phil, but the fact of the matter is, if the Rockies, first off, Detroit would not have traded him to Colorado because they want to do Tarek Skubal a solid. That's part of the industry. That's part of the equation. And the Rockies just, I mean, they're not seen in that light, and they're not seen anywhere close to the light of the Dodgers, obviously. But the other side of that is, if the Rockies had given up a haul to the Tigers, who had agreed to the deal, Tarek Skubal would not have re-signed with the Rockies this offseason. He would have been a rental player, and there's absolutely no reason for the Rockies to rent Tarek Skubal when they're on the verge of losing 100 games for the 18th year in a row. I'm exaggerating. Mm-hmm. So it's just the Rockies are needing to build their farm system, needing to draft and develop their guys, and then supplement that philosophy with key free agents, key veterans, that kind of thing. And that's the path I think they're going to take until they get into position to potentially be a division winner, a playoff contender, maybe down the road, a team that's going to threaten and challenge for a deep run in the playoffs. That's going to be their mojo.
What's our texter's name?
Phil.
I actually understand the sentiment. Like, you've got to jump off the porch eventually. Go get in the game and shoot your shot. Now, we don't know what conversations were had, and we probably never will. But, you're not going to get the girl if you don't ask her. So while it probably was never going to happen, and we understand this, you know what I mean, you've got to be aggressive and be more bold. And I think the Rockies are moving in that direction, but I understand the general sentiment of what Phil wanted to see happen.
I do too. I would not have wanted them to give up the kind of price it would have taken to get Tarek Skubal because of where they are organizationally.
They're not ready for him.
They're not. And he would not have stayed. I mean, it's that is, to think that Tarek Skubal would re-sign with the Rockies long term is simply fantasy land. And I'm not trying to disparage Phil. I'm just saying that's part of the calculus.
Mm-hmm.
That's just part of the equation for the Rockies.
Remember when Andre Iguodala hung out here for a year?
I do remember that.
It'd be that kind of situation.
Yeah. Also, Eric in Arvada on the RamosLaw.com text line. Guys, if there's a lockout in MLB, do you think there will be a salary cap in baseball? If so, what would it look like? I think that's going to be perhaps the core of the discussion in the labor negotiations. I think we are going to see a lockout. I think the players are going to look at what happened in the NBA, where the owners kind of got a salary cap without getting a salary cap. Alex, I don't know how you see it, but I mean, the fact of the matter is there's going to be labor unrest in baseball, and I would be stunned if there's not a delay to the start of next season.
Unfortunately, I think that's the way it's going to. In a summer without baseball, it would be tough for me, very tough. And unless there's some big changes here with the owners and the players, I think we'll see it. Yeah, like you said, a big portion of the 2027 season wiped out.
Kyle, you see any way that some kind of cap gets instituted?
Well, I think the fans want it. I think probably three-quarters of the team in the league want it, just because they don't have the resources to play ball, pun intended. So, but they're going to be people with some pretty deep pockets with pretty loud voices that would more than likely lobby against it because they're on top right now. So it's just whose voice is the loudest and whose voice is the most influential. It would benefit it. Honestly, it would make the game better. But I don't know that everybody's that interested in that.
A couple of thoughts from Big Perm. We love Big Perm on the RamosLaw.com text line. Baseball needs a darn salary cap. Dodgers are out here deferring contracts till 2040. Either you have the dang money to pay a player or you don't. None of this wishy-washy BS. It's bad for business in the long run. Dodgers are a scummy organization. They make the Patriots look like choir boys. I'm giving Big Perm his due because I'm fine with this. They make the Patriots look like choir boys with all the rule bending and line stepping they do with rosters. Shaking my darn head. MLB lets them get away with that crap. Hey, you're not going to hear me be an apologist for the Dodgers. I think it's craziness that somehow they're allowed to defer 68 of the $70 million they owe Shohei Ohtani every year to whatever year it is. I mean, man, oh man, that is nuts. But quickly, closing out with football, what do you want to see from Broncos training camp? They'll get the pads on this week for the first time, undoubtedly.
Well, I mean, I want to see the defense get back a little bit.
Ooh, a little more, huh?
Steal the week, really. Everybody was all up in arms about the Broncos offense, and Waddle's doing this, and Bryant's doing that, and Mims this, that, and the third. And then Patrick Surtain says, hey, don't forget. And then Jonah Ellis and Nick Bonino say, don't forget. So when we stuff the run, I want the articles. I want you guys writing about this stuff too. So hopefully they'll approach it with that mentality, and their defense with that alpha mentality. So I would expect that they'll level out the playing field this week.
Admittedly, I'm taking the defense for granted. If anything, I would love to see them create some turnovers even in training camp practices. Again, we're talking about this like it's game situations, which is all we have right now is training camp practices. But I do want to see the offense continue to shine, because I believe in this Broncos defense so much. If the offense is doing good things against this defense, air quotes, even in training camp practices, then I'm really going to continue to believe more and more in this offense and what Davis Webb might bring as the new play caller and what Bo might bring as a young quarterback making those strides forward, and what this receiving core could look like. As Mace put it on Orange and Blue After Dark, can the Broncos offense become a unit where defensive coordinators say, what options are we going to take away first, because there's so many we have to deal with?
Play too high shell, keep everything in front of you, and make them run 8 or 9 plays to score. That's going to be, and that's been the recipe for the last 10 years. Make them make a mistake. So, but hopefully you run into that, where the Broncos are like, oh, okay, we just can't give up the big play to Mims. We can't let Evan Ingram gash us. We can't let J.K. Dobbins run off for explosive runs. So, that's the bright side of it. That's what it could be.
Yeah, let's hope. Alex, you got a thought on what you want to see from the Broncos this week?
Just the way the Davis Webb's going to incorporate the offense, maybe we'll get a better idea of how he's going to use some of these weapons. I know it's still early on, and guys like Mims and Ingram look outstanding, but just more about the offense and the play calling situation, I'd say.
Yeah, this could be a lot of fun. As training camp gets rolling, they will have the pads on at some point this week. I don't think there's any question about that. It's going to be a lot of fun to follow, and keep it locked right here on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan as we bring you full coverage day in and day out. Kyle, Alex, been a lot of fun. Thank you guys for letting me sit in with you.
It's good to hang out with you. Good to hang out with the text line. Had some fun on YouTube. Yep. So thanks everybody for participating, and yeah, we'll see you soon. I don't know when soon is, but I'll see you.
I don't know. Cello probably back next Sunday. Thanks for hanging with us. Enjoy your Sunday from all of us at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
It's Training Camp 2026, Unfinished Business. Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth will kick things off starting at 6 a.m. Powered by Applied Technologies. Then Dover and Cecil will react live to all the action until 2 p.m. Thanks to Denver Roof Pros and Biondino Law Firm. At 2, The Drive will recap the day thanks to Aero Seal Colorado. Stay locked into Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and DenverSports.com for all the latest news and information during football season. Denver Sports 104.3